Media, the Fighters and Trainers channel, and most importantly, the People's channel. And we have here the technician, Jamaine Ortiz, fresh from the barber shop. You know
Yeah.
what time it is. How we doing this morning, man? Good morning to
Oh,
everybody on the live as well.
yeah. Good morning. Good morning. We're doing good. It feels good to be up early. So, just trying to get it in early.
How's it been, man? What's life been like with you? Sometimes I call you in Dubai. You're always working. I always see you in the gym posting videos. What's it like being Jermaine Ortiz
Oh
on a
man,
daily?
I be saying and people be saying they're like, yo, if you just post what you do every day, you would have been viral a long time ago because my life is a little bit like that. Like
I
I,
forget to
I
post too. Yeah.
my life is just I'll say unique. Everybody's life is unique, but I just got back from Dubai last night. Um, was there for a little bit with my daughter, spending some family time. Uh, and yeah, man, I just been here. Came back to the East Coast, getting some work done, some side work stuff with some construction stuff going on the side. And yeah, man, just working, training, and waiting for uh some contracts to be signed, and hopefully we get a fight date locked in.
I like that you mentioned the construction thing because people don't really, you know, sometimes the fighters don't really get to dig deep before, all things got surreal in your career in boxing. You was a carpenter back in the days.
I was, yeah.
Do you still dabble in it now because you're a homeowner and all that?
So I haven't like worked as a carpenter for a while now. It's been a couple years, but
Due to
there's
boxing.
times like, huh?
Due to boxing.
Yeah, due to boxing, like boxing's like my full time thing. I love the carpentry. It's something that I found like as a hobby. I was passionate about it, and it's something that I actually enjoyed doing. I didn't do it just for because I needed a job or stuff like that. I actually enjoyed doing it. So, and then from there, I just got into like the new construction side of remodeling and having partners and doing stuff like that. But I had to do some work on my one of my own properties, and I hire some people, but there's times where it's like I like putting on that tool belt back on and just kind of doing things myself. Like nobody's ever gonna do something the way you're gonna do it when it's for yourself. So I take pride in just putting that tool belt on and doing things the right way.
We see fighters, they come in and go into the sport. Sometimes they don't leave with anything. They don't make good investments throughout. You right now as a fighter, at the highest level that you're at, talk about some of those investments because you saying that do you have a property in Dubai?
I did some Airbnb a couple years ago before, but I didn't own the property. So no, I don't own no property in Dubai.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, to be able to live this lifestyle, do you feel like some of those investments that you made, gearing up to like put it like this, having those investments and still boxing, if you didn't do those investments, would your lifestyle be the same?
No, they wouldn't. No, it wouldn't.
Boom.
But to be honest, I set that up before I started making any money in boxing.
I know.
I set that up before making any money in boxing. I knew the lifestyle I wanted, and I knew I wanted to box full time. So I had to prepare myself and get myself ready to be able to be a full time fighter. So that was before me making the money. I'm like, I have to give myself the ability to be full time so I can actually be the best and dedicate myself to the sport to actually make the bigger bucks. But I couldn't wait to make the big bucks to then kind of put myself in position. But not everybody's in the same has the same mindset or has the same ability to do that. Some people gotta grind it out and wait for that big fight and then trying to adjust from there. So everybody's circumstances is different. Me, I just always had a plan since young, and I kind of set myself up in that way. Before I was able to even get the big fights, I was like, you know what, I'm able to go full time because I made the right investments to give me that leeway through properties.
You know, Having that business mindset outside is boxing is great, right? But then it's almost more important to have it inside the boxing world, right? Because you get these high profile fights. You got two huge high profile fights. Sometimes you listen to other people's contracts and you be like, damn, you got paid that much. I fought the same dude. What do you mean? You know what I mean? So you're not understanding the boxing business. I mean, you tell me, at the age that you're at now, how important is that for fighters?
Uh, it's tough to say because obviously you have to have the business mindset in boxing, but the world is always adapting and changing. And we're going at a fast pace due to technology, due to AI, due to the reconstruction of the boxing business itself, with Dana White involved, with Turkey Al-Sheikh involved, with the TV networks no longer involved in boxing, and now we're moving to applications. Promoters now working with each other more than before. Boxing is completely shifting as well. So the business mindset isn't like the old, and it's not a new. It's adapting. It's adapting. It's shifting. It's figuring it
Adapting to
out.
change, yep.
It's adapting to change, and everybody's right now adapting to change. Promoters are adapting to change. Fighters have to adapt to change. The fans have to adapt to change. Everybody's adapting to this change.
And it's forced, right? Because at the end of the day, you see ESPN doesn't want nothing to do with boxing right now. I mean, now the boxing game, even Top Rank per se, they have to go out and make these adjustments. We still don't even know where they're gonna land as far as a home is concerned. But I'm glad that you talked about that, because not one of the biggest fighters in the world right now, Terrence Bud Crawford, gets stripped of his WBC belt. And everything that you're just talking about as far as boxing shifting, this has a big piece in the high pedestal. He decides not to pay Suleiman the 300,000. They say he gave him a deal that's a better deal than the 0.3 or whatever. Anyway, what do you think about that whole change, his decision of not wanting to do that? And
I,
it's kind of given the credibility of, I mean, you go right ahead, because yeah.
I think he's right in his decision. Like, look at Mayweather. Mayweather never kept all the other belts. How many times could Mayweather have been undisputed, one other belt, and then just vacate them? He's like, I'm not paying those fees. He stayed with one belt. And you think he was actually paying the 3% to the WBC? No, he wasn't. Why? Because he was making so much money that as long as he got to keep the belt, he was able to negotiate a payment to the WBC. Like, look, I'm gonna pay you this. I'm not gonna pay you my 3%. They're gonna be happy with it. Why? Because give that belt to another champion, they're not making Mayweather money. So whatever 3% they was gonna get from another champion, you're not gonna get not even half a percent. You're gonna get more than that with half a percent what I'm gonna give you. So take it and take more money, right? Than the percentage, right? Than just trying to be stingy with the 3%. So he made a point. He said all the other organizations was okay with taking what he proposed to them. The WBC wasn't. So he was like, okay, because like he said, why pay 300,000? That's just for one belt. Imagine if you had to pay the same for all the belts. That's four belts. That's $1.2 million that you're paying for some trophies that with time just are gonna turn into what? Nothing. The leather's gonna break down for trophies. How many belts does he already got? He showed off the whole shelf of trophies. You're gonna keep paying more for what? You're gonna
You
have to
still got to, how's that WBC building going to be, working without, them getting
yeah.
this
So
money. But
so
I hear
he was
exactly what you're
offering.
saying.
Yeah, he was offering something. So what? They're gonna give the belt who back to maybe their plan is let's give it back to Canelo, right? Let's strip it from Crawford. Let's make it vacant, and let's probably have Canelo fight for it again. And Canelo still makes money, so we'll be happy with the
Actually,
money he gives us.
I'll tell you what, even better. They made a chess move. It might be Shiraz.
Could be that. You know why? Because they know Turkey backs Shiraz, so they're like, you know what? Maybe we could get something through Turkey as well. So it's all politics. It's all a way to manipulate the fight game, and you just gotta shift. You gotta adapt, and this is where marketing is important because it's important, but even being the having the crown doesn't even help you sometimes. Because look at Crawford. He's been had the crown. He's been undisputed. He's been the best, and he's proved it. And even with Canelo, they had him going in as a draw going into the 12th round.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How? How?
Nasty.
How? Going into a draw, going into the 12th round? Are you serious? Doesn't matter how great you are, even when you're going up against a bigger name like Canelo, and Crawford's not a small name, they still try to take it from him. Almost did. So that's how what I think about that. I don't. At the end of the day, like I said, the Ring magazine, you don't even got to pay for it, and I feel like that's where everything is going towards, is the Ring magazine with Turkey, where it's kind of like the old school Bible of boxing, right? You got the magazine, you got the ring belt, you got no sanctioning fees, you got everything kind of under one roof. You got everything like what Dana White is trying to do with the UFC. And not saying that I'm for it, I'm not against it. It's just adapting and shifting, and you just have to work with the times. You can't go against this type of grain. I'm not saying that you can't go against the grain, because I like going against the grain, but there's some things in life you just gotta adapt to, and can't bitch and cry and complain. You just gotta work with it.
Okay. Well, in that behalf, right, too, as well. They want to cancel the Ali Act that protects the fighters more. They're striving for that, and the fighters got to go out there and petition themselves. They got to go out there and show up to the meeting and say, no, we want to keep this. If the fighters don't do that, that act gets changed. Now you guys say go against the grain. You got Mr. Oscar De La Hoya that's definitely willing to do that. Did you check out this yesterday's clapback?
No.
Today I'm pretty fucking pissed off. Terrence Crawford, he told the WBC to basically go fuck themselves yesterday and is refusing to pay sanctioning fees to them for his $50 million fight against Canelo. $50 million. Did he forget where he came from or how he got there? How do you think you rose to that level? Through the ranking system. You get positioned to make that kind of money. I mean, come on, you're 38 years old. You've been paying sanctioning fees for a long time in the past. There's nothing new here. There's nothing groundbreaking. You had no problem when they were ranking you to fucking fight Canelo. It's like my agent getting me a huge movie, and he's asking for his 10% commission of all the work he put in. And then they tell him, you know what? Go fuck yourself. How fair is that? I've heard Crawford say many times that he loves the belts, but suddenly the WBC is the enemy and the ring belt is the only one that matters? I mean, seriously, Suleiman has to be rolling in his grave. Literally. I mean, it sounds like you're reading a script or something. Come on, you've been the ring mouthpiece and the chosen one since they came on board 2 years ago. We all know that. I mean, it looks like that monopoly money really got to your head. This is not the way champions behave. Once you start making money, you don't behave this way. Young fighters shouldn't be looking up to this. Any kid who becomes an amateur dreams of becoming a world champion and having a belt. The kids dream of becoming world champions like you did, Terrence. This is not the way to behave. Look, yes, there is an agenda with TKO. Yes, they want to create one belt, one entity to control the entire sport. But it's sad that they made you the mouthpiece. You of all people? I thought you had integrity. I thought you had respect for boxing and the sport. What do you think the Jose Suleiman Foundation does because of those sanctioning fees that you refuse to pay? You know what he does? He helps these kids get off the streets. He houses ex-fighters. That money goes into retirement funds. That money goes into paying hospital bills for fighters who can't make it. So just because you made it, Crawford, and you made $50 million, you don't want to pay that fee ever again? That is wrong. I'm very disappointed. Yeah, there's an agenda here by the TKO group. And today I'm pretty fucking pissed
Talk
off.
to me. What's your reaction to Oscar De La Hoya?
I just think he's trolling. Obviously, he wants to be on the good side of Suleiman. It's all politics, man. Life is politics, and in boxing, it's no different. He's talking about the agenda of the TKO group. They want to control it. Yeah, maybe it will be more control like the UFC, but some fighters and some fans actually like that fact that there's just one champion, you know. And to say that the sanctioning bodies don't control it either is a lie, because how can you be the best in boxing and rank top 10 on three organizations, but not rank top 10 in one other organization, you know? Um, and they pick and choose who they want to elevate. It's all politics. So to say that the TKO group is trying to control it, sanctioning bodies keep some people champions on purpose. Why? For that reason, for the fee. Why does the bigger names continue to stay champions even though they have close fights, or even though they should have really lost? Is why? Is because they get a bigger purse, so they're gonna pay a bigger fee to that sanctioning body. So not only is the promoter behind them, because if the promoter keeps that name as champion, he's gonna be able to promote bigger fights and bigger cards. So he's gonna get a earning from that. If the sanctioning body keeps the bigger name as a world champion, they're gonna get a bigger fee because he's the bigger fighter. So the sanctioning bodies win from that. E- Everybody wins when there's a bigger name involved, even though if he gets beat. So that is control. You think that it's only the promoters that, oh, it's on his card, so he's the B-side fighter, so he's obviously he probably won't get that edge. And as the A-side fighter and the promoter's the one that's picking the judges. He's he's taking care of the judges. You don't think the sanctioning bodies is doing the same thing to make sure that that person stays champion? You got two sides now coming to help this big name stay champion, because they're gonna eat more from this person, regardless if he wins or loses.
I hear you on that, man. We got so much to talk about. Let's go back. Let's go back 2 weeks, and then let's go back to this week, and let's go talk about what's the future. Um, 2 weeks ago, Devin Haney moves up to 147 pounds, and he goes out against Brian Norman Jr. Is not takes his belt and also drops him in the second round. What's your reaction to him?
Oh man, I thought Devin, to be honest, he fought.
Mm. Hold
I
on,
didn't really see
hold
Devin
on,
fight like
Jermaine.
that
The
before.
can you come out and come back in? Because for some reason the volume is like popping in and popping out, and I wanted to be
Man,
clear.
all right, I'll,
We
I'll
good?
I'll leave and come back in.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take you out
You
right
good,
now.
right? You good now?
Yep. Yeah, we're good now. Well, tap in. Man, double tap the screen if you guys are on mobile devices. Hit the like button. Let's share this. We got Jamaine Ortiz, the technician. He's at 140 pounds, but we're gonna get right into what he's gonna be doing. We see a lot of people at 140 move up to 47, and 47 could be the new hot division. So let's see where he wants to be, and let's see where he could possibly get those opportunities. We're gonna be talking about the Teofimeo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson fight, the Lamont Roach and Pitbull Cruz, and then obviously we're gonna get his reaction as well to Devin Haney beating Brian Norman Jr. So Jermaine Ortiz is back right now. Salute to everybody on the live and double tap that screen. Hit the like button, y'all. Appreciate you guys for tapping in. We
You
back. We
good?
back. Yeah, we sounding good. Yeah, so what's your reaction
Uh,
to Devin Haney beating Brian Norman, taking his belt and dropping him in the second round?
oh man, I thought Devin did a great job. He looked good boxing. For a little bit, I'm like, yo, man, this dude's boxing how I be boxing, just a little quick in and out and stuff like that. But he did good. I gotta rewatch the fight. I didn't get to watch the whole fight, but I gotta rewatch it.
Okay. Some people were saying it was a boring fight, Eddie Hearn and Connor Ben. Connor Ben laying on his shoulder, saying, he went to nap after the second round. I mean, what you think? I mean, I know you say you didn't watch it too much, but did it start to bore you? That the reason why you clicked off? What was it?
Nah, I tuned in late. I think it was I was having like dinner, something like that. I was something else, and then I tuned in probably like around the 10th round or ninth round, and it was good. But I was at a dinner, so I was doing something else.
No biggie, no biggie. This week we got Lamont Roach versus Pitbull Cruz. Lamont Roach going up to 140. This is for an interim WBC belt. The winner of this will probably fight the winner of Dalton Smith and Subriel Matias. What do you think about that fight?
I don't even think that should be happening at 140.
Mm.
I feel like
Damn, the signal's getting choppy as
Pitbull
hell right
Cruz.
now. Is it?
Say
Is it
that.
because the
We'll say
way
that.
where it's sitting or something?
I don't know if it's because my phone is getting overheated.
Is it
That
getting
too, like
overheated?
they be having an overheating problem. Yeah,
Get
I
it?
feel like it's getting hot. Maybe it's because it's the sun or something.
Yeah, the sun's beaming on it. That's why.
Let me try to look this.
Yeah, the sun's probably beaming on it. You
But
need to get into the shade.
is it better now? Is it better
Let me see. Say something, because it's when you talk.
when I talk? What was we talking about?
We were talking about.
I was talking about Pitbull Cruz and Roach.
That's right.
Pitbull Cruz and Roach, right?
Yep.
I don't think that fight should even be happening at 140. To be honest, like Roach, a 130 pounder who went up to 135 to fight Davis to then just go up to 140 and fight for interim title. I think it's pretty wild to me. Cruz, I don't even know who has Cruz fought. Like, where was he at? Was he at 140? Like, who has he fought? Who did he fight? I don't even know nothing about Cruz.
Cruz right now, right? Cruz has a big fan base, right? And like the same thing, like you said, you know what I mean? They're gonna want the guys with the biggest fan base to get these opportunities. Cruz lost his WBA title, 140 title, to Rayo Venezuela. Rayo Venezuela lose to Gary Antoine Russell. But in
Okay, so
between, but in between
yeah,
time,
okay.
Pitbull Cruz fights the same guy twice right after because the guy gave him a run for his money the first time. Another Spanish fighter. I don't know his name. Apologize for for the people that has his fans and him himself. But yeah. So Pitbull Cruz, like I know what you're saying. What's he done to be able to be in that position? And then at the same time, you got Roach that comes in, moves up a weight division.
And question. He went fought Rayo. You're saying right? Lost to Rayo, right? And then he fought another dude. The dude gave him up for his money. Then fought him again, and I beat him. Right?
Mm-hmm.
When he fought Rayo, was that
Yeah, yeah. Well, he had the title.
was he like what? That he go up from 135, got to 140. Oh, did he beat? Is that what was it that he beat? Rolly for the title?
Yeah,
Was that
he
at
knocked out
140?
Rolly. He knocked out Rolly. Yeah,
He knocked out
he
Rolly,
knocked
and
out
that's where he
Rolly in
won the
the eighth
title
round.
from Rolly.
Then loses to Jose
Was that for a world
Valenzuela.
title? Or what was that for?
WBA. WBA. Yep.
Okay, so he moved up. That was the first time I'm pretty sure he fought at 140, right? When he fought
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Rolly.
If most that or yeah or Giovanni Cabrera. He might have went to 40 for that fight. Not exactly sure.
Okay, but
Um,
still, all right. So cool. That was a good win against Rolly. He knocked Rolly out. But then after that, how the hell out of all the 140s, he picked one.
he goes the distance with Angel Ferreira, beats him, and then Omar Salido games and goes the distance with him. These guys are 23 and 2, 20 and 2, good opponents. I mean, on paper anyway.
Yeah, I guess the PBC's doing their own thing because obviously you see them doing things with just kind of within their circle. They're not even putting a lot of cards on right now.
Right.
So whatever names and fighters they can get, they're just trying to match them up and put them on. So
Speaking of PBC, a lot of people were talking about
I
like,
guess.
why haven't they, stripped Tank for the WBA title yet? He hasn't fought in a while. Um, same thing that you said.
Why would they? Because when he fights, they're gonna get that fee that compensates for 3, 4 fights. A champion's not even gonna fight 4 times, but let's say max 3 times, and they don't even make as close money as Tank. That one fee is gonna compensate for all of that,
Yeah,
plus more. If it was
I
another fighter who didn't make the money, they would have stripped him a long time ago.
100%, 100%. This is the business at the end of the day. And talking about the WBA, you got Floyd Schofield is ranked number one. What do you think? Do you feel like, you know, I don't know, do you think he could possibly beat Tank? Or do you feel like he
No,
deserves to be in that spot, knowing that he beat former champion, knocked him out in the first round, Tevin Farmer? I mean, where do you think his
nah, but
positioning
you
would?
know what? With Schofield would be, you know what? Schofield and Mason would be a good one.
Right, right.
Not saying that I think Schofield will beat Mason, but I think that's a better matchup. You know, two younger guys. If he's ranked number one, all right. Well, you know, maybe a good fight for Mason and him as being a younger guy. But for to say Schofield to be in there with Tank, nah.
Or Shakur is too much experience.
Yeah, I think he's gonna. Do I think he has a chance with Shakur? No, not at all. So yeah, so if him being number one, whatever, Mason will be a good. That's more of a, I think, better fight two younger guys. You know.
You think Mason will beat him?
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think about Mason's last fight against Sam Noakes getting the title?
I didn't get to watch the fight. I didn't get to watch the fight.
Oh, okay. Check it out. Lots of people have a lot to say about the fight, you know. Um, but nevertheless, obviously getting this week, you also see Frank Martin, another PBC fighter slash Errol Spence fighter. He's fighting Baldomir. Uh, what do you think about that? And then also, yeah, what do you think about that matchup?
Who's Valdemar?
Baldomir, I think he lost.
Who's
He
Valdemar?
lost. He lost to Gary Antoine Russell. It was a close fight. Um, but yeah, he's Cuban.
I gotta watch it.
Cuban,
I gotta
very
watch a little bit
awkward.
more boxing.
He's Cuban.
I gotta watch a little bit.
He used to be the one
Uh,
with the. Yeah, he used to have the what do you call them, dreadlocks?
Barthélemy.
Barthélemy, my bad.
Barthélemy.
I said the wrong name. Barthélemy, yeah.
Barthélemy. Yeah, you saying something? You saying a Russian name and then you say Cuban? I'm like, what?
Off as hell. What you think?
Hold on. You're staticky now. You're staticky to me.
Oh, I'm good now. Estamos bien. We
A
good
little
money.
bit. Yeah,
So what do you think about
a
that
little bit.
matchup?
Yeah.
Even though I screwed up his
I
name,
think Frank Martin. I think Frank Martin. Yeah, no. Martin versus Barthélemy. I think Martin will win. I think Barthélemy. He's very like.
está un
I don't
poquito
think
viejo.
he's
Is he
good.
getting old?
Like. Yeah. He's getting old, but I just don't think he. I don't think he got it. I don't think he got it.
Nah. What do you think about all this failed VADA testing going on? You got we first had the WBO champion at 160 pounds. What's his name? Janabek.
Janabek.
Yeah,
Janabek.
Janabek.
He was supposed to fight Lara, right?
Yeah, I was looking forward to that fight tomorrow. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanted
There's
to
been a
see.
lot
I
of
wanted to see.
failed drug tests and stuff like that. I don't know. It's a little fishy out there in the boxing game with all these failed drug tests and some coming with just a little bit trace amounts. I just think it's you know they didn't time it right. It ain't about it was a mistake or some contaminated supplements. They didn't time it right. That's what was going on with them.
Well, so you feel like that with the situation with Subre Matias testing below the Austrian level, and possibly being tainted substance, you believe that it's just cycling. They mistimed the cycling.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think. I don't. It's not something that you kind of find in natural foods, or I think that is something that I'm not, an expert in any of that, so I don't know. But I don't think that's something you really find in many supplements. And when you're with Vada, they're gonna ask you what kind of supplements you take. They make you write down what are all the supplements you do take. So if it was contaminated, then and if it wasn't one of the supplements you listed, then they should go back and test those supplements and see if they those supplements have a track record of maybe some trace amounts.
Yeah.
They can go by the lot size of that supplement, right? Because they make them in bulk, so they can find when that kind of supplement was filled, what factory, when, how, from where, and really see if it was if it was really contaminated, or they're just saying that just for as an excuse.
Yeah. Now, January 31st, Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez. 3-1 odds favor Shakur Stevenson in this fight. Lots of people compare your fight with Teofimo Lopez, that Shakur Stevenson can fight that type of fight and win it. Um, what do you think? Do you feel like Shakur wins that fight? I mean, you've been in there with Tio. You studied Shakur. You've had opportunities. Not necessarily you didn't have opportunities to fight Shakur, but it was a guy that you thought that you was going to see in the future as well.
Um, One, there was an opportunity, like I've mentioned. I told Shakur this. I don't know if he knew. He said he didn't know about it, but I had a contract to fight him at 135 when I was with Top Rank. It was like, win this fight, and then after we'll give you Shakur. So I already had that. This was a couple years ago when I was with Top Rank, but then I ended up just going up to 40 and getting the Teofimo fight. But I think Shakur would win.
Mm, close fight. What do you think?
I don't think it'll be really a close fight. I don't think there'll be a lot of action, but how I see it is Shakur will move in the beginning. He's gonna stick at 1-2, the jab, and Teofimo. He's just gonna try to, like, he moves a lot, does a lot of, like, play movements with his hands without really doing a lot of action. So he's gonna make it seem like he's trying to do something without really doing anything. And that's it. I don't see too much going on, but I do see a lot of, like, movement without fighting, if that makes sense.
Mm,
You know, um, I don't think we would see the Shakur that fought Zepeda. You know, being there more in the pocket and fighting. I don't think we'll see that as much. Maybe a glimpse or two.
why?
And one, Shakur said it himself after that fight that he wasn't gonna fight like that again, and that's the main reason he said he wasn't gonna do it. And
Teal's
he's
cracking
going
like
up to
that?
140, which isn't really, huh?
Is Teal cracking?
No, I don't think. I think he had more of a threat with Zepeda as a puncher than Teofimo. Uh, but he's going up a weight class. That's not naturally his weight class as well.
You think that'll play a factor?
No, that would play a factor in him not fighting in the pocket how he did with Zepeda.
Got you.
That's what I'm
So,
saying.
so yeah, because of the style, you feel like he's gonna be in and out, moving around, making sure
Yeah,
that
in and out.
doing things that Teal don't like.
He got longer arms. I think he'll keep him at bay. Um, you know, Tail's a tricky fighter too, so not saying that he can't, slip in and catch him with a couple shots, but Shakur, I think he's gonna be defensively sound. He doesn't like getting hit, and I think he's gonna stick to that.
You know, as far as Shakur is concerned, and Teal, when you look at the speed, when you look at the timing, who do you feel like has that edge when it comes down to that? It could be separate. It could be somebody got the speed and somebody else got the timing. But when you look at those styles, where do you feel like Shakur is really gonna excel in? His jab, all his punches, his whole arsenal is gonna come out in this fight. What do you think?
I think Shakur's timing is superior to Teal's.
Main factor.
And
I
when you
see
have
that.
and when you have great timing, the speed doesn't even matter. Well, you could be as fast as you want, but if you got better timing, the speed doesn't matter.
Right. 100%. 100%. Um, so we see Teofimo get frustrated. He was even frustrated in your fight as well. Um, as far as you was talking about, he does a lot of movement without it really doing anything. Maybe it'd be just like things that are not disciplined. Do you feel like the fundamentals of Shakur Stevenson will also prevail because he doesn't make a lot of those mistakes. He kind of stays focused throughout 1 to 12. Do you feel like that also will take a play in the fight as well? Because like you said, Teal's fast, but when you have your fundamentals so sharp, it's gonna be really hard for you to capitalize off of mistakes.
Yeah. Um yeah, Shakur's fundamentals are good, but like you said earlier, Teal gets frustrated. Can he keep that composure? Because Shakur's gonna make a miss, and Teofimo's not gonna be able to just hit him at will. And is he gonna get frustrated? Because we seen how when he couldn't hit me, how frustrated he got. Now, does Shakur take the same page and make a miss and get him frustrated, then pick him apart after that? Because once you frustrated and your head's out the game, it's pudding after that. It's different. So he can play it that way, but I just don't think Teal's attractive because of his earlier fights and some knockouts and his being explosive. But we have not seen that once he moved up from 135. He had a great
Hmm.
performance against what's that dude from Ireland? The
Uh,
Josh Taylor.
Taylor, Scotland.
Josh Taylor. Yeah, from Scotland. He had a great performance against him. And I think that's it, but no knockouts, and that's what people was really excited to see Teofimo for his being explosive and seeing some like knockouts. But who's the last person he knocked out?
I think Pedro Campas. I think his debut at 40,
Oh, his debut at 40. Yeah, but I don't.
which is probably like 5 fights ago, maybe 6.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, and then the fights that we see him go to decision, it's never really good.
Go backtrack a little bit. The Arnold Barboza fight in New York City. You showed up to it. I mean, what did you see in there? A lot of fans was like, "All right, yeah, all the performances was kind of like light work, really." But with him, he seemed like he did good job. Kind of had control of the fight, but not necessarily give everything to the fans. Really put a beating on our Arnold Barboza. You know what I mean?
No, look at and that, let's take that fight for example. The reason why that fight stood out of all the other fights was because all the other fights were so like not
Basura.
it that they were so trash that the best fight which was his, right, made it
It
seem
stuck
like
out.
somewhat okay because you're comparing it to straight trash, right? But this is what I mean. If you look at the fight, he wasn't doing that. What he was doing was moving his body, his hands like this, but not really punching. He wasn't. It wasn't a fight where he's hitting, boom, moving. It's really much more like just dancing in the ring and just
Stylish style points.
showboating. Yeah,
Showboating.
being
Showboating.
stylish. Showboating and being stylish, but no punching. Look at the fight. It's just moving, being stylish, just trying to do something to get the attention of the fans or do something because there was nothing really going on. And that's what I mean. That when he doesn't have answers, that's what he ends up doing. When he doesn't have answers for his opponent, when he doesn't have answers on what to do, he just tries to like build his rhythm because fighting is about dancing, it's about being in your rhythm. So he tries to find his rhythm by dancing and get into that mode when he's trying to find his rhythm because he's not in rhythm.
Yeah, and that's
That's the
another
game for
thing
real.
too.
That's the game. That's the game. Tell Shakur that's the game. I'm
That
giving y'all the breakdown.
no, he gonna be watching this. Shakur gonna be watching this. And I think you're right. The rhythm, Shakur has better rhythm than him. You know what I mean? Like I could see that. I could definitely see that. Um, does it go 12?
Oh, even Shakur, he doesn't have to get into rhythm. Like his fighting style is very like straightforward in the sense that it's different from Teofimo that you see how he has to get into his rhythm. He has to get into the movement to then really look good and to punch and to look amazing. Shakur doesn't have to get into that dance and rhythm to look amazing. He fights how Shakur fights, you know? I don't think you don't see being a switch on versus switch off with Shakur versus you do with other fighters in Teo.
And like when it comes to fighting too, we can get. I'm gonna give him game right. The less rhythm you show, it's hard to time. So there'll be times that you see
Yeah.
Shakur, he stands completely still, just so he can activate that twitch. Whoa, boom! He does
Yeah.
that a lot. But a lot of people don't see it because it's not like it'd be like a jab or it'd be like an uppercut,
Yeah.
subtle, something
Yeah,
subtle,
well,
but it
in a
messes
sense,
everything up.
he doesn't move. Yeah, he doesn't move much, right? He doesn't move to show what he's gonna do. Versus some other fighters, they might have to move a lot to show what they're gonna do, or to just try to pull off what they want to do. They have to kind of get into that rhythm and move a lot. Shakur, that's why I'm saying like it doesn't really seem like he might have a rhythm, but like from the outside, it doesn't look like it because he's just kind of still and works off a s- less, not a lot of movement.
Right, right. Which is very smart. At times, that's why I guess why combination punchers like Cepeda, and him and his style look so good together because to break a rhythm like that, you got to throw multiple punches. But in the same time, when you got good eyes like Shakur, you could see these punches and pick them off. Not all of them, but you're going to pick at least 80% of them out, 100%. Yeah, I like that. Um, no chance that you see Teofimo winning this fight.
But sometimes it's the ones that you see zero chances that the ones that end up happening. In boxing, anything can happen. But I don't think so.
All right. So, do you feel like a lot of people say that Teo steps up to his competition? Maybe, and if that was the case, he would have stepped up with you, right? But people don't really, they don't want to say that, right? Jermaine, they want to say that to who they want to say it to. If you got a big
Yeah,
name, then they'll say it. But if you don't got a big name, they're not valuing the skills at the end of the day.
yeah.
You think Shakur really took this fight? Definitely on some like I just seen what Jamaine did to him. Jamaine did it to him southpaw. Nasty work.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he took it because he seen me and how I did it to him.
More convincing because
All
it's
fighters.
about timing.
Huh?
Boxing's about timing. He's talking about like I want to get this belt right quick and give it to Keyshawn. Pikiti, that's what he's saying.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
life's about timing. He's working together with a group. If you really look at it, you know what I mean? His name has a high value as well. So yeah, touch on that.
on what?
T- touch on that. Do you feel like he's picking on it because he's seen, you know, yeah, he always thought that he was gonna fight Teofimo Lopez. Even in the amateurs, they knew they were gonna fight each other one day, right? But it'd be that
Yeah.
one thing that the fighter says, we're gonna fight him next. Like,
Well,
and it be it be
I
about
think your money was
performances.
right.
It be about performances. Sometimes you spar the dude. Now you're confident. Let's do it now. It be like that.
Yeah, you know who I think is very strategic more about that. I think Bill Haney's very strategic on that.
Yeah.
Bill Haney, when you have like some good
He knows when to
managers
pull the
behind
plug.
you,
Yeah.
um, good promoters, when they have like a long-term vision on like how they want to build you and how where they want to position you, they definitely pick the fights for the certain right times. And but with Shakur, I just think whatever's the big fights that are available for him, he'll take. Obviously, Turkey put up some money on the table for them to fight, so they was like, yeah, we gonna fight. And I think it works in his interest. He's gonna drop it down, make it the title vacated. You know how that's gonna work. That vacated title, they're gonna have Keyshawn fight for that vacant title. Then he'll be, depending who he fights, they're trying to line him up for that. And that's how boxing works. I don't put anybody in position. And Shakur is helping his homie be in position by taking the belt from Teofimeo, and then he's gonna vacate it for then his homie can fight for the vacated title.
You know, a lot of fighters will shy away from coming to the show because of the certain questions that I asked Jermaine. But I feel like that's what's gonna make the show
Yeah.
grow regardless. We got Keyshawn Davis moving up to 140 pounds now. And, you know, he talks about his first, debut out there. He wants Albright. You know, there was talks of you two back in the days. You beat Albright, you beat Tio. He wanted to fight Tio. Doesn't this fight more make sense? I mean, these guys want to step up into competition. Am I wrong or am I right? Like when it comes down to this piece, at least. Like if you want to step up to competition, you didn't fight Edwin de los Santos. That's another story, right? But if you come and you've been around Albright and de los Santos, you could tell me what levels of what's a higher level, what's more of a dangerous fight for him and stuff like that. But where do you think now that he's with Jay Prince, where do you think his career, is going to be moved? Do you feel like it's going to be moved fast because they're ranking him really high at 140 pounds?
Uh, well, see, I think they'll give him the big fights. Not big fights. They're gonna try to obviously turn him to a star. So they're gonna give him a vacant title, probably against somebody who's not gonna beat him. Or maybe that's why he wants to fight Albright. Didn't he already beat Albright?
Yes, but then remember he was hitting the ganji a little bit, maybe before it
Also, it was a
they
draw.
took it away from him, and then Albright beats his brother up in Virginia, and then in Norfolk that was a big mess over there, and now
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
story.
but
Now
it
there's a
still doesn't. It
storyline
still
about
doesn't
it.
make. It still doesn't make sense. Like, what does that do for him? What does him fighting Albright do for him? He beat him. Yeah, they took it away as a no contest. But what does that do for him? He wants to fight and win a vacant title against Albright. Okay, that's gonna make you the best at 140. No, it's not. Fight me, and then we can have a good challenge there.
When did you beat Albright?
Fight
It was
somebody
a
who's
minute ago,
established at
right?
what? Yeah, I beat him a long time ago.
Before Heron.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I outboxed him. Uh, yeah, if he wants to fight somebody who's really established at 140. Because I fought Albright at 135. Fight somebody like, so he's going up to 140. So he wants somebody else to move up to 140 with him. Like what?
Just for the
Fight
storyline.
somebody who's already at 140. What?
Just for the storyline. I mean, I could see it like when it comes to like politics. Maybe he fights him, he apologizes after type deal. I'm sorry about because he took a hit. He definitely took a hit. But yeah, go. What about De Los Santos? I mean, remember he's a guy that didn't get the opportunity. Got it taken away from him. I mean, what do you think about the levels between De Los Santos and Albright? You've been in there.
I think De Los Santos would be a better fight than Albright.
The truth has been spoken. So basically, you're telling me when he's moving up to 40 while having the title, we're not going to see him in competitive fights right away.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think he's gonna fight T.O. I don't think he's gonna fight who else. I don't. Who's he gonna fight? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he wants a competitive fight, a real fight, then he got to fight me. I think that would be a great fight because I doubt he's gonna fight any of the other champions. So if that title gets vacated and he's in a real fight and a real challenge to call himself a solid 140-pound champion to fight me.
See, they know I put the black horse. I bring you out here. I bring the black horse in boxing, and they're like 113 people,
I'm just
39
saying.
likes. I get it. I'm telling you, yo, that's why some of the fights are like, ah, man, he got him on the show. I gotta hear what he's gonna say. And a lot of people gonna agree with you. I mean, I see a lot of people are agreeing with you right now. In the comment section. Shout out to everybody in the comment section as well. Um, Gary Antoine Russell was on the show the other day, 2 days ago, and had a lot to say about Lamont Roach. He said he would want him next. Another person at 140 that you beat, Richardson Hitchens in the amateurs. The IBF champion. A lot of people are calling his name. He's not answering the call. What do you think about Richardson Hitchens and seeing him at seeing him, in the pros this time? I mean, do you feel like there'll be any difference?
Uh, Difference in maybe how the fight goes, but when it comes out to the decision, I'm still gonna come out victorious. So, uh, I think that's a great fight that can happen. He's actually champion right now, so uh, I don't know if he's fighting anytime soon, but I'm ready and locked and loaded to get into a fight.
These are the fights that Richardson needs. He needs the Antoine Russells, the guys that beat him in the amateurs. It seems like at the highest level, he's gotten beat, by, you, Antoine. And do you feel like just because you come into these fights as the B side with this particular fight, do you feel like you got to go extra, or do you feel like you can outclass him in his own game?
I think where I'm at, I'm just trying to go an extra in everything I do, man. Just win, but just enjoy the fight game and fight. As you know, as much as I love boxing and I be boxing times, but I love to fight. Um, it's just about demonstrating the world and giving entertainment and being remembered. What's the point of all this sacrifice for you to just be forgotten? At least give them something to look forward to and something to look back on and talk about a great fight that you gave and have your name live on um, for something good. You know.
Facts, facts. Shout out to Tito with the super chat para el cinco. Appreciate you, my guy. Ask him if Tio gave him a good bag. Would he help him spar for Shakur's fight? Question mark. He has a similar style, might even be a trickier fighter. Dale.
One, I don't talk about purses or bags, so I won't answer that. Um, would I help him spar for the Shakur fight?
It was bigger than the Loma fight, though.
I don't know. I would want to fight Tio again. You know,
So you wouldn't want to
I would
help
want
him.
to fight Tio again. They called me when Devin was fighting Lomachenko. They called me to spar Devin for Lomachenko to prepare him for Lomachenko. I said no, because I don't fight Devin. So I said no to that. So when it's somebody I want to fight again, even though I fought Tio, like I'd rather not spar you. I'd rather just fight you.
Because you already did the Lomachenko sparring, you tested yourself of how it would be. Why spar these other guys that I know that I'm gonna have potential fights and give them opportunity to say, yo, listen, he knows my weaknesses, or he don't got that many weaknesses to exploit because we already sparred. That's kind of like where you at with that.
Yeah, like there's no reason for them to give them an edge or to know a little bit more about me. So nah, I'm not willing to spar none of them. I'd rather just fight them. I'll spar somebody that I don't think I'll fight. But like Lomachenko, I didn't think I was gonna fight him. The opportunity came, but for me, he was more of a like a legend, a Hall of Famers. Like who wouldn't take that opportunity? Like Crawford would be a guy that I love to spar. If the fight happens, it happens, great. But guys like that, if I could get in the ring with Canelo, whatever, like big names and people that I feel like I can learn from, then yeah.
HLD, I like that comment. Norman needed to spar Ortiz for Haney. What do you think about that? I wanted to ask you about it and ask him about it, but in the same time, I don't want to like help someone if they don't want the help. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to go out and
Yeah.
do that and be like, nah, 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 I'm all set. Cause coaches do got an ego about those certain things. And I'm like, but I thought about it. I was like, damn, who can you get Haney sparring? I was like, all I thought about was you. Would you have you even took that opportunity if it presented itself? Or do you feel like, nah, I'm going to 47 and he's still a top name. He's ranked number 2 in the Ring magazine still. Nah, that's a potential op.
Not really, not really. I don't know. I really don't know how to answer that. I don't know.
See, when the
If I
fighters
would have
when the
fought.
fighters are not when the fighters are kind of like hurting for money, they go do it. But considering that you're not hurting for
Yeah.
money, you've got the experience and shit like that, it's a different type of decision you got to make. Something that you got to kind of think about.
Yeah, for sure. Like there's times I've gotten called for fights, but I'm like, I tell the promoters like, I don't need a fight because I need the money. So you think I'm gonna just fight? Because yeah, of course I want to be active, and of course I want to fight, but I'm not just gonna fight or whatever, fight for whatever money just because. Like I don't need to do that. I'd rather be patient and wait for my time to get a good opportunity.
And is that because you're in your prime and you don't want to go through the dreadful, making the weight, stripping your body all the time for just like small bags type of deal, like that type of deal? Are you on it like that, or are you talking about like you getting some shitty ass offers that just like fuck that, bro? Don't even hit me. Don't even think about hitting me. Do you know my minimums, like type of shit?
Yeah, yeah, both. Both. They coincide.
Because you
They
got a name
coincide.
off of your
I,
performances.
yeah, but I wouldn't say much of stripping weight and stuff like that. That's part of the sport. That's part of the game. So it is what it is. But it's more of like, yeah, I'm not just gonna for the risk of just fighting in general, of going through a brutal training camp, of depleting your body for a weigh-in, to go through a fight. And yes, I did it because obviously my dream of becoming world champion, all this stuff. But it comes to a point where it's like I'm still gonna end up fighting, but I'm gonna fight where it makes sense and I'm able to keep on my faculties, take care of myself, and I just put myself through this hard stuff and take life out of me just because for money. 'Cause that's something I don't need.
What do you think about Gary Antoine Russell? He got a fight coming up with Andy Aroka. I know that's where you ranked. You're the highest ranking is in the WBA, right?
WBA, IBF, one of the two. I don't know.
Okay. So you seen both of them in the amateurs, the IBF champion and the WBA, right?
Talking about Hitchens and Gary Russell, right?
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
You in the fucking mix,
And the
my
W and the
bro.
WBO. What happened?
Oh, and Tio, yeah, and then you fought Tio. Yeah, you in the
Yeah,
mix, and no one's saying your name. Nasty work.
yeah.
You in that
I beat
goddamn mix from the
Hitchens.
amateurs.
I beat Hitchens. I lost to Gary Russell in the uh semifinals of the Olympic trials. Fought Tio in the finals of the National Golden Gloves. All three of them are world champion right now, and I'm right here in the mix, top 10, ready to come and get my lick back with Russell and if Hitchens wants it too, we can make that happen. And just it's great to know that you guys work hard from amateurs, from young kids, and when you stay consistent and you're really that guy, like you will see each other again, and we're here. We're here.
When they asked Richardson about Antoine, unifying the belts, he says he needs to get a bigger name. When you hear stuff like that, what do you get out of it? Because this could be one of those things that they might portray you as well.
What you mean?
Bigger names. These some of these guys are saying
Okay,
that
okay.
they want to fight big names to get the big paper. So if I'm gonna take a L, I'm gonna take a L with the millies. I ain't gonna take a L,
Yeah.
600,000
So the
L.
question was, so the question was to him, uh, Gary Russell and being and
Unifying.
unifying the titles, and unifying. He said no, he wants a bigger name instead.
Yeah, he needs to get his name up. That's what he said.
It depends. That this is where personal goals come in. Do you want to be the best and unify and beat another great fighter, or do you just want to chase the bag and fight bigger names? I think they're both important. They're both important. So
Yeah. Some people are looking at it like, yo, get your lick back. You know what I mean? Go get your lick back and stop ducking the guy. It sounds like duck talk to me. He might fight in January with a lease of a name, a guy that doesn't have as big of a name. I asked Antoine 2 days ago. He says that their names are similar. They're right in the middle. They're the same. What do you think? Antoine Russell, Richardson, Hitchens.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, I could agree with that. I could agree with that. I don't think Hitchens is a very popular name in the sense I don't. He beat Cambosos, so I think that kind of grew his
Stopped
name a
him.
little bit, but yeah, he stopped him. Um, Gary Russell's a quiet name. Gary Russell's a quiet name, but people who know boxing know him. You know, um, but I would say that it's not one name is really above the other. Yeah,
What about the
both of
skill
the names.
levels
I think. I
between
just
them?
think. I just think one social media is probably more active than the other.
Oh, okay. Who do you think is the more talented fighter? You've been in there with both.
Uh, I would say Russell.
Wait a minute. You've been in there with all of them, besides Matias. We'll get into that in a second. You, who's the
Uh,
best at 140 out of the
I think
champs?
I'm the best at 140.
Out of the champions?
Out of the champions right now, got Hitchens, you got Gary Russell, you got Lopez, and you got Matias. Who is the best out of all four right now? I would say Tio.
Mmm. The lineal champion. I like
I
it.
would say Tio.
What sets him apart from all these other champions?
Uh,
He got a higher IQ.
I think he proved himself more. One,
That's important.
I think he's proved himself more. He's been in bigger fights with bigger names. Um, I think he's more. I would say versatile a little bit. Um, so yeah,
Getting into these super chats. HLD, thank you for the 2 piece. Keyshawn needs to fight Ortiz and stop cherry picking. Your thoughts?
they all need to fight me. If you look at the top 10, I think I could give all these guys the best work, the best fight. But I think obviously they all scared. They don't want to take a risk of losing against me and not getting paid that back. So that's where comes the Hitchens quote that you mentioned. Like, well, if I'm gonna take a loss, I want it to be against a big name. But what big names are there right now at 140? Tio. Who else is a big name at 140? They all went up to 47. So that's why he's talking about probably going up to 147. Because if he's chasing the big names, he's gonna have to go to 47. That's where Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, uh, Connor Ben, all these other names are now at 147.
I mean, if we're gonna continue with that, I
So
mean, Matias he sold over 11,000 seats against Paro in Puerto Rico. I was there, and you see Richardson when Matias had the IBF, he didn't want to do the weight clause. Happens to be right now, Richardson Hitchens has the IBF title.
oh, is that what happened when Matias had the IBF? He didn't want to do the weight thing.
He didn't want to do the weight clause. And that's why
But now,
and because I put it out there, I interviewed both sides. Everybody heard their own voices. I'm the bad guy.
that's crazy.
I'm
That's
the
crazy.
bad
So he
guy.
was just avoiding Matias. So he was just avoiding Matias.
Basically, I mean, it definitely looked like that. And their encounter the other day didn't look too good either. Yeah, that's another thing too. What do you think about Matthias? Obviously we talked about the Austrian, but what do you think about him and Dalton Smith? That's next week. No, my bad. That's not next week. That's in January, the 10th.
I think Dalton Smith would win.
Mm,
Yeah, I think they'll be moving these belts around so they can find a solidified name and a cash cow. That every promoter is looking for the next cash cow.
yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. That's why they got the Rolly. I mean, they did the Roach and Pitbull Cruz, and Mexico and Puerto Rico. If Pitbull Cruz, wins, and if Matias wins, people gonna be amazed to see how many seats get sold for that fight. Nope. And you trust
Yeah,
me when I say this shit, they're gonna be like, "Damn, who put this shit
that'll be a good
together?"
fight. That'll be a good fight. That'll be a good fight because they both come in, so that'll be definitely a good fight to watch.
And it'll be packed as well. So, Tito, thank you for the two piece. Raya would be a good name to fight for Ortiz. What do you think? Vario Venezuela. I remember
What you
when
said,
he was
Raya?
title. Yeah, I remember
I
when he had
agree.
the title.
I've
You
been wanting
wanted
to
him.
fight that. Yeah, yeah. I've been wanting to fight him when he had the title. Yeah. You know me. For the chat to know, I'm willing to fight anybody and everybody. Uh, when these guys are all champions, I'm always calling their names. There hasn't been a name that I wasn't willing to fight. So it really just comes down to their promoters because their promoters are bigger with the networks and they're kind of the ones that always get to pick and choose. And as you guys know, I'm always on the B side, so it really comes down to them kind of just picking me as the opponent. And obviously, it's my job to kind of just make it aware and let everybody know that I'm willing to fight them and I'm ready, and kind of just pick at them a little bit for them to kind of spark their ears and let them know that if they are looking for any opponents or need somebody to fight in a challenge or a great fight they want to put on TV, that Jamaine Ortiz is here.
And for the promoters out there, when it comes down to you, I've been seeing you fight in several different platforms. Um, Signed to Jimmy Birchfield, but you tell me, you can fight anywhere. You're basically what, a free agent? What's your situation?
No, I wouldn't say free agent, but I'm not tied to a TV network, so most fights are on the zone. But I'm wherever the opportunity's at. Whatever me and my team can get on opportunity, where we just jump on board.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. They need to put you in the mix. HLD, thank you for the two piece. Clinchins needs to fight Ortiz and stop cherry picking. You think he clinches a lot?
Clinches.
Yeah, Richardson Hitchens. You think
I
he clinches a lot?
I didn't see him clinch against Cambosos much.
Nah, nah. I think people will clinch if they're with somebody like that's really punching. You know what I mean? Or they're tired. You know what I mean? Or they're trying to break a rhythm or whatever the case may be. But most of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
time,
There's different reasons to clinch. There's different reasons to clinch. Some people think that when you clinch is because you're hurt. That's not the fact at all. You can clinch for many reasons. Part of your strategy, part of your tactic. You can tire somebody out by clinching. You can stop their rhythm, like you said, by clinching.
slow the time down.
You can hit to yeah, for you to hit and not get hit. You hit and clinch for them not to be able to hit you back. So it could be a defense mechanism. Like there's a lot of reasons to clinch.
You use it as a tactic. Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Here's another. Thank you for the 5 piece. The lunatic. Should supplements be banned from combat sports? Question mark. Should the sanctioning bodies do tournaments for their ranking system?
They should. I think that. I think that's better.
A tournament
That
style.
would be good. But yo, Millie, I don't know if the chat got a couple last messages, but I
You
got
gotta skate.
some things
Nah.
to do.
Appreciate your time as well.
Yeah.
HLD, thank you for the 2 piece as well. Ortiz just kicked Mills in the balls by picking Smith. Me duele los bola. You just went, ah!
You think Matisse is gonna beat Smith?
I think he is, man. I think he is. I think that
To be
I
honest, I
think
haven't even watched Smith. I haven't watched Smith fight. I just every single time I just see a boxer against like somebody like Matisse, I just pick the boxer because I just don't think Matisse, like even with Puello, I don't even think he really beat Puello like that. But it is what it is.
we just need the same referee to be able to make sure you separate those clinches because Paro, they want to talk about Haney clinching. Paro did the most fucking clinching. And you can only you know more when you're in the stadium and everyone's booing. Nobody boos a Matias fight.
Yeah.
Nobody boos a Matias fight. It was so bad that you see all the bodies was just booing. And when you in there and you're like, damn, this shit is kind of boring, but it's fucking working.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, the rounds are starting to get piled up on the Australian side and shit like that. But yeah, you gotta I think that if Matias don't fight off the clinch again, like he did with Paro, he could have a similar situation. Very similar
Yeah.
situation as Paro. But if he fights on the clinch, don't let this man hold him and stuff like that. He got the win. If anything, he gonna stop him, and just like you said in the promo, he gonna take the little girl out of him, and that's a possibility. So once again,
Okay.
appreciate you for tapping in with us, man. Let everybody know where they can find you on
No
social media
problem.
and all that.
Now, y'all follow me on Instagram, Jamaine Ortiz, on X, Jamaine Ortiz R. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jamaine Ortiz, and yeah,
I love it, man. Really
let's
appreciate
do
your
it again,
time,
Millie.
bro.
Let's do it again.
I got you, my brother. I got you. Appreciate you. And to the next time, man. Keep me updated, bro. Keep me updated on the next one.
I will. I will for sure.
All right, brother. Stay blessed.
I will.
Smash the like
You
button,
too.
y'all. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Appreciate you guys for tapping in with your boy. Um, do you want to do? It's early in the morning. Should we get the call-ins? I don't know. I think we could save it. I'm gonna drop a couple videos. We're gonna be doing an interview with Bob Santos. We were supposed to do that yesterday, and probably some other more. You know what I mean? Like people been slacking, lagging, but I have a lot to say. So for the next live that we do, we're gonna do an interview, and then we're gonna get the call-ins, and we're gonna chop it up because there's a lot of things going on in boxing. There's a lot of like I'm listening to interviews and I'm listening to sneak disses. You know what I'm saying? And I had to bring in Jermaine Ortiz as the dark horse today, this morning, to let the thing be known. Let it be known that, listen, we know what competition looks like, right? And we understand what's going on. You know, a lot of favoritism is going on in the rankings, but it's up to us as the fans to say, yo, listen, that dude ain't the one, man. We don't want to see that fight. We want to see this fight. We want to see you in there with a name, stepping it up. Guys that we seen them perform at a high level. If you was on that stage and you performed well against elite fighters. I want to see you fight other elite fighters as well. I do not want to continue seeing these champions have a belt and not giving us our entertainment value. That's something that I don't want. You can't be just having a belt and knocking everybody out with the belt that we don't know. I don't want to see it. I want to see the best fight the best. And it doesn't matter. It does not matter if it's a USA name. Okay? Right now, when it comes to the Olympics, Cuba is smashing shit. All right? And if anybody's in the top 10 Cuban, I want to see them fighting too. It's not about just American names and then, well, I'm gonna skip to the UK, the UK names, and not show love to Cuba, Mexico, Puerto Rico. We got a lot of talent, and nothing against the UK talent. Like they love boxing. Like I can appreciate UK how they come out for their favorite boxers. And yeah, that that alone, with all that money that's coming into boxing and matchroom boxing, Frank Warren, Queensberry, like they do their thing. People show up to those events, but are they the best? Connor Ben ranked number one in the WBC. ¿Por qué? Why? Who did you fight to be number one in the WBC? ¿Quién? Ay, bendito. You just beat Chris Eubank at 160 pounds. The best win you got at 147 pounds is Pistol Pete Dobson. Ay, bendito. There's no way. There's no way you're going to put that man that high. But why? Okay, let's talk about it. Does this position Shakur to do some crazy shit at welterweight after? Because we're hearing you're going to go back down. We're hearing you're not going to fight Abdullah Mason. We don't know what's going on with Tank Davis. That announcement has not. We don't have no idea what's going on with Tank Davis. Tank Davis got some other shit that he got to be worrying about, right? Are you going to end up fighting Andy Cruz, that Cuban, 6 fights, gold medalist? You just was saying that you were the best amateur, and don't get it twisted. You were one of the best. I've been watching Shakur for a minute now. One of the best amateurs I've seen, right? And a lot of politics happen in amateur boxing more than in the pros as well. But how am I gonna come here, sit back, and have Andy Cruz say if he beats Mortataya for that IBF title? Just saying, say he does, right? What's the next excuse for people to not fight Andy Cruz? I need Shakur to clear the smoke out. You know what I mean? And if Shakur's not, because I don't think, like I can't say that Abdullah's not going to clear the smoke. Like I think that if they want to step on the brakes for Abdullah, okay, that's fine. But there's also talking about unifications here, guys. All right, we got a lot of ring ambassadors, right? In Top Rank, you got Abdullah Mason, Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevenson. These are all ring ambassadors. You understand? And they're moving in a unit. Nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? You come up in the amateurs together, you have friendships and stuff like that, and you build. I never seen, like, me personally as a competitor, I played in high school, right? In high school I fought in the Golden Gloves. I started in basketball. I was one of the best football players in my school. I even played baseball. Number one in cross country. I'm an athlete. I whenever I seen someone in the come up, I don't want to say I was hating on them, but I'm like, ah, shit, like there's gonna be some competition if we step up. I'm not gonna sit next to him in the school table. I'm like, nah, he all right, he cool. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna hate on him, but he ain't better than me. So anyway, they got something going on there, and it sucks because they're close into weight divisions. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to pull people apart because of their friendship. Like I'm not. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But in the same time, I do want to see Keyshawn Davis and shout out to Albright. You know, I'm cool with Albright. You know what I mean? If Albright gets a title shot, an opportunity, that's great for him. You know what I mean? But he didn't beat Jermaine Ortiz. Jermaine Ortiz, a lot of people believe that Teofimo beat him. Jermaine Ortiz beat Richardson Hitchens in the amateurs. He's the only one that fought Antoine in the amateurs and still willing to step up to the plate and fight him in the pros. He's the only one that you hear about it. Like, yeah. There's others, there's some, but you hear more of him being aggressive because he's gotten the short end of the stick a lot. And it's not the referee's fault either. It's his fault too. You know, you put two people to blame. Now he's sitting back, got lost to Lomachenko, lost to Teofimo Lopez, and he says in his next bout he's gonna have to step it up a notch. I get it. Lunatic, thank you for the two-piece. The rankings for Ben was paid for by Hearn. Absolutely. Appreciate the two-piece. Appreciate all the donations as well, guys. I really appreciate you guys this morning. We cracking and we should we do the phone lines? Is that what it is? Because you guys are supporting right now. I could appreciate it. Can you start doing morning shows on the reg? Mi hermano, mira, vamos a hacerlo. We're gonna get hype. We just need the support here. We need you guys to smash the like button all the time. We need you guys to come and support the channel in other ways as well. You know, super chats, super thanks. Get involved into the comment section. Let's get into it. We get a lot of guys that they just want to watch, right? And it be industry people too. Um, let's see what the stats are looking like when it comes to the poll. We got 96 votes. Let's get these votes up as well. Who wins this fight? Shakur Stevenson or Teofimo Lopez? 76% believe T Shakur Stevenson will win. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm leaning more to Shakur as well in this fight. I can't say that Teo doesn't have a chance in this fight, but I'm gonna tell you one thing, because he's a super athlete. I think that Shakur is actually a better athlete, to be honest with you. Like you ain't gonna see Shakur do no black backflips and shit like that, but I tell Shakur to go run from one side of the court to the other. They're gonna be close in speed. They're very close as athletes. But this is more than just being an athlete. It's good though. Having the same athletic ability leads to a good fight. You know what I mean? Because look at Lomachenko, athlete. When he fought Teofimo, another athlete, we got a great fight. You know, same thing. Haney, athlete, fought Lomachenko. We got a good fight. You know what I mean? When you see guys that are not athletes, right? You start to see it being a little bit one-sided unless their experience level takes off to the next level. You know what I mean? One thing about being like in love with this sport, I could say that both champions, both Shakur and Teo love boxing to get better, but they also are willing to fight some of the best fighters to get better. And Shakur Stevenson stepping up to fight Teofimo Lopez shows that. It shows he gets a high level name. This is Teofimo Lopez, um, his biggest name, I would say. Yeah, Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson. Remember, Shakur Stevenson was that guy that was always behind Lomachenko, always wanted that Lomachenko fight. It never happened. They used to spar. A lot of people, Wally Moses said that Shakur Stevenson hurt Loma to the body. You know what I mean? And it was that time. It was that opportunity that was gonna be the fight for Shakur to level him up to the next level, especially if he can't get the Gervonta Tank Davis fight. Shakur Stevenson is one of the best fighters in boxing. I can attest to that. But I will say one thing about Teofimo Lopez. He's super talented. You know, when it comes to smarts, I'm gonna give that to Tio. When it comes to discipline, I'm in my back. Smarts, I give it to Shakur. Discipline, I give it to Shakur. Those are the things that are gonna matter a lot. The ability to have that quick twitch. I just think that his quick twitch muscles are they activate a little bit better than Teal's. Teal, one thing that Teal does wrong, and hand placement, fundamentals, these things, when you start to get lost in the ring, when you start to run out of ideas, you start to do things out of the norm in boxing. You know what I mean? I see it all the time, even in the gyms with the amateurs. I see it all the time. And I've seen it with the Arnold Barbosa fight, and I've seen it with plenty of other fights with Teofimo Lopez that he gets bored and he, he starts being more of a showman than a killer or I'm gonna finesse you. So let me tell you something. It's a great fight because you got you got two in the prime. That's very important right nowadays, right? We're complaining a lot about these matchmakings, and we can't complain about this match. That's why I love this match because shut the haters up saying boxing ain't is dead. This fight right here changes things. You know what I mean? Um, Terrence Crawford freaking smashing Canelo like that. Boxing fans is like, what the fuck did just happen? Super talented. Super. Terrence Crawford is my favorite fighter, even though that at the end, if I had to lean to somebody, I would say, yeah, I'm gonna lean towards Canelo a little bit, even though I've been seeing Canelo's shakiness. And I was wrong. Because Terrence takes it to a next level. He makes non-believers be believers real quick. One thing that I needed to see is if Canelo lands a shot, what the hell is Terrence Crawford gonna do? And let me tell you something. He took those shots. He's a dog. He's different. He's different because Charlo didn't have that dog. He didn't have that dog. When you have that dog in you in the ring, you can. There's one thing that I noticed when you have that dog in the ring. Your confidence is different. You can think different in the ring when you're confident. You know, having that dog comes with dominancy. You have to be dominant. You have to be able to take your like when you're sparring, you take certain sparrings to the next level. What does that mean, Mills? This is what that means. I could play the outside game and hit you outside, pop out, you can't hit me, and we could play this shit all fucking day. Confidence and wanting to be better is more like let's slide to the inside, let's throw it, let's drop a body shot, let's hit a hook up top, let's roll off that shit, let's catch this shit, let's counter this shit. Keep thinking closely. When you toe to toe with somebody and you're making them miss and you're making them pay like Sweet Pea Whitaker, you're in your zone. When you in the mid range and you can stay in the mid range, you in your zone. And as fighters, there's no other better sweet spot than being in the mid range and handling yourself. When you don't take that into your everyday sparring, you do not get better. When you only work on the things that you're good at, what happens when you find that guy that forces you to fight some way different? It takes little things to make somebody, you know, make you fight different. I can hit you behind the ear. Boom, you're ringing. Now here's my move. I see his face. He don't got a poker face. That shit bothered him a little bit. Okay, let me step up to him. Oh, wait a minute. He don't like that. He's going to the ropes. Those little positions that when you a great sweet boxer and you really need to dig down and fight, we need to know who you are. Very important. Very important. Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson should be more competitive than Canelo Alvarez and Teofimo Lopez. Yeah, I said it. I said it. And I stand on it. It's going to be more competitive. But I still see Shakur looking dominant. For some reason, I see frustration coming out of Teo. I'm going to see him break down. But when he breaks down, what does Shakur Stevenson, what kind of Shakur Stevenson are we going to get? A lot of people, a lot of fighters are pump faking to win a round. They're doing just enough to win a round and not showing their complete arsenal, their complete greatness. You know, Floyd Mayweather, he did that at times. He just did enough to win. He's had some great performances though. You see, that's one thing is like you gotta have outstanding like people be like, yo, listen, he had over 50 fights. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you a different Floyd each time, right? And I'm gonna give you what I can give you at the time. Salute to Frank in the building. What's going on, Frank? I like you, brother. Appreciate the super chat, brother. Good morning, Mills. Give him that breakdown. Teofimeo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson. I'm doing it right now, brother. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a close fight. But I like how the chat is coming on the poll. 76% believe Teo. And that's where I'm at too. I don't see it as a 50-50, but I don't see it 76-24. I'm gonna give Teo a little bit more than that. Teo really believes. A lot of these guys thinking that Teo is not that guy. A lot of these people are saying, "Oh no, he's ducking him. He's ducking Haney. He's ducking Haney." We don't know. We're not in the negotiation table to see what was that price. Maybe, maybe, which I'm pretty sure this was what's going on here. There was more money presented to Teo to fight Shakur versus Haney. Could that be the reason? You got to keep an open mind when it comes to these negotiations, guys. We quick to to pull the plug on somebody. You ducking. You ducking. And I understand. Smash a like button, y'all. Please. We're gonna continue this live because now I got a little hype. I ain't gonna lie. I got a little hype. Um, listening to Shakur's interview the other day. Some media guys be just dick riding. Just supporting anybody. Bro, this is boxing, bro. There's a B side and there's an A side. And on this side right here on Mill City Boxing, we're gonna cover both of the sides. You understand? Because I can't survive just doing an interview with just you. I can't. And I can only survive off of people that just agree up with your behalf or what you see only. There's two, it takes two to fight. And on this show, we're gonna broadcast both of them. We're not gonna be biased over here. You understand? Um, maybe those Schofield interviews got you tight. And you, like you said in the interview, you take it to the next level and you gotta slow it down. And that's what I believe. You know, I think that's what I believe. I just think that you're overreacting a little bit, and I think that and I appreciate the interviews you gave me as well to help my platform up as well. You know, but in the same time, you seen something in the interviews. You said something to me. You said, "Yo, I like the questions that you ask." All right, but then now when the questions are asked about you, you might not like them. I'm sorry, but it's the heat. It's the heat. Now listen, I want you to see. I want you to fight the best. You know, when certain things happen, you know, Schofield pulled out the fight, or the British board commission said he couldn't fight. Whatever the cases may be, you end up fighting Padley. I can't go too hard on it, but I was just a little confused the fact that Joliet Herrera is literally a few hours away from Saudi Arabia, living in Dubai. And I just was like confused about it. And I'm glad that you've been listening to me, Shakur, too, because yeah, people are saying it. If you're gonna fight, Connor Ben at 47, we do want to see you fight Devin Haney at 47, bro. Like I'm on some pound for pound. I want to see pound for pound fight pound for pound. I'm gonna be real with you. I want to see pound for pound fight pound for pound. I think the best need to fight the best. I'm an activist. I'm for that. No matter what. No matter what. Hit me in the DMs. We'll chop it up. You know what I mean? Because I'm a bigger person in this situation. Like, well, one thing I did like about Shakur's interview is that he's showing a different type of maturity, but it's more like on a I'm gonna stay away from the media and this and that, and that's cool too. Like that's cool too. But what we need is what we need is more consistency from you. You know, we need to see we need to see that. Listen, we want to see that Devin Haney fight as well. I feel like you guys, like Mickey Bay said, y'all probably gonna be the last two standing. But then in the interview, you said, but we be having these people pinning in black people and against black people. Like, what's up with all that stuff? The the ethnic fighters are the best fighters. The Latinos, the blacks, we the best. We want to see you guys fight the best. Look at the history in boxing. Look at everybody's favorite boxer. It's black or Latino. I'm just saying, it's the truth. It's the truth. I'm saying things that are not nobody want to talk about. It's the truth. That's not pinning against each other. No. You guys are the best. Color don't mean nothing. That's just the shade. We want the best to fight the best, and we're gonna ask those questions. How you feel about this so and so? He's in your division. He's holding the title. He's saying he's the best, and he's in the same division as you. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? No, no, Keyshawn and Shakur, if they don't want to fight, they don't need to fight. But fight everybody else. Fight everybody else. I'm not gonna dictate, oh, just because it's one person. But then you start doing, oh, listen, if you start doing this, I'm his friend, and I'm his friend, and I'm his friend, and we're mad cool, and I'm not fighting any of them. That starts to get a little crazy. And that's just boxing for you. If it turns into that, if it turns into that, that's nasty work. And we ain't gonna see the best fight the best. And that's nasty. Shame. Shame on people using other opportunities to shame other media members. Oh man, nah, 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 nah. We're gonna show love to everybody, bro. We're gonna show love to everybody. This ain't like one fan base type of channel. You know what I mean? We're covering tomorrow's fights, where a lot of channels are probably going to talk about their favorite fighter instead. But we're going to be talking about Roach, and we're going to be talking about Pitbull Cruz, because guess what? The winner of that is going to fight the winner of Matias and Dalton Smith. Obligado. That's how we coming. That's how we coming. You know what I mean? This is judgment free zone over here, man. We gonna let, and especially if you don't tap in with us, trust me, we're gonna tap in with a whole bunch of other people that are gonna be talking about you. Because if you're the best and you holding the title and you talking hot, then you got to back it up. That's just point blank. That's just point blank. You know, and I know, shit. I know who the best is. I know who the best is. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be real. Connor Ben, not a high level welterweight. Sorry, he's just not. Um, Haney looking like he can clean up at welterweight. Looking at it, my boy Rashidi, he at 54 now. He's sick of these dudes. These dudes don't want to fight. You know what I'm saying? A lot of look facts, yo. Everybody counting Laura out. Jennifer Pops, and I was ready to drop 200 on Laura. I was ready to drop 200 on Laura. Smooth shit, easy. A lot of these Latinos and black like Laura. I like Laura. I think Laura is what, gold medalist, southpaw. Shit, I thought he'd be Canelo. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? That speaks a lot. That speaks a lot, don't it? Shit. We put it like this, Lara. We didn't get the best of Lara as boxing fans. We didn't get the best of Lara. We should have seen Lara fight way more. Lara got a hell of a resume, by the way. But Lara could have fought more people, even more. But he got a hell of a resume, the best resume at 160 pounds by far. But you see him fight a lot of guys moving up in weight and this and that. Salute to everybody in the chat that rocks with the channel as well, man. Double tap the screen if you guys are on mobile devices and hit the like button. Appreciate all the donations, man. We here. Should I get the call-ins? I ain't getting a lot of attention in the comment section though. Let's get into some of these weigh-ins though. Let's get into some of these weigh-ins. I want to show y'all, you know, Lamont Roach is saying that he gonna stop Pitbull Cruz. Stop him. And then he did the belt to ass shit. Check it out. He pulled out the gorra, face off official. He tra. Bam, 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 bam. I did that shit to my girl last night. That shit, I don't know if Pitbull Cruz caught that shit, but he went placati, 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 placati. You tell me, but that was disrespectful. That right there deserves some extra attention on fight night. Am I tripping? Or did Lamont Rose just bring the Correa out? Acting like Pitbull Cruz stole some shit. I bendito. And uh, talk to me. If you're not fighting your mandatory, pound for pound needs to fight pound for pound. Yo, if we got Turkey a la Shiki, if we got Turkey a la Shiki that can come out here and put some of this cheddar together, huh? Yeah, I want to see pound for pound fight pound for pound for sure. Missed that good catch. Ah, shit. But yeah, he hit the belt, bro. The belt. He brought it. All my Latinos, you know when you did something wrong when you was a kid, and they said go to the shower. Vete para el baño. Go to the shower. Go. I got something for you. He pull out the thick belt, the thickie. That's what Roach did. I don't know. Yo, what's this? Ryan Garcia. Oh no. Oh no. Some more drama. More drama in the streets. Let's get to it. Uh-oh. Yep. I have to do it today. For some reason. Whoa. Looks like Roach's WBA title is stripped to this guy. Stripped. Dickens. That's his name. Whoa. Now the new featherweight champion. That's out right now. Let's see what Roach got to say.
Is in trouble every single step of the way, and I showed it time in and time out. And Saturday night, it's going to be the same thing. Are you saying that Isaac Cruz is in trouble on Saturday? Every single person who steps in that ring with me is in trouble. Isaac Cruz, he's saying you're in trouble on Saturday night when you guys step inside the ring at the Frost Bank Center. Your thoughts? Isaac, acá Lamont dice que estás en problemas este sábado por la noche. ¿Qué opinas?
Tenemos problemas.
Creo que él también está en problemas. No vengo amarrado de las manos ni vengo cojo y le voy a dar una gran pelea. I think he's in trouble too. In fact, he might just have his hands tied and it's going to be a great fight no matter what.
Hands tied. Pause. Yeah. This is getting good. We did a live yesterday. Zab Judah, James Toney. I'm gonna be dropping it today. Listen, James Toney, the legend, and Zab Judah, the other legend, made a big quote yesterday. And that quote is, who wins this fight this weekend on the main event? They got Pitbull Cruz by stoppage. Let me listen. Zab Judah and James Toney said yesterday on the pod, they said Pitbull Cruz will stop Lamont Roach. Now, why they said it? The styles. Lamont Roach likes to work on the inside a lot, right? He likes to work on the inside, more of a close mid-range type of a fighter, not too much of a long-range fighter, and that could help, Pitbull Cruz because he's not going. Pitbull Cruz not going to have to use the whole ring. He's not going to have to touch every little inch of the ring just to touch Lamont Roach. Now Lamont Roach is here to fight, and we got Lamont Roach with the energy saying that I'm gonna stop Pitbull Cruz. So if you're gonna stop Pitbull Cruz, most likely that energy of moving on the back foot might not be there. So because of that, it's a recipe for disaster, right? A recipe for a good fight, a bomber, right? So if that's the case, guys, we're gonna end up seeing, and if Subriel Matias beats Dalton Smith, which I believe he will, if he fights off the clinch. If he don't fight off the clinch, I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be just as tight as I was with the Paro fight in Puerto Rico. I was one of them ones like, Puñeta! Suéltalo! And a whole bunch of people around me were saying the same shit. Suéltalo, puñeta! It was bad. And in English, that's saying, let him go, mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was bad. So don't sleep on Pitbull Cruz, they're saying. Because we got some legends out there saying that Pitbull Cruz will stop Lamont Roach. You got Lamont Roach saying otherwise. Place your votes, guys. Matter of fact, let's actually go and set up a new poll. Who wins this fight? Pitbull Cruz versus Lamont Roach. Let me know what you guys think. Who wins this fight? I'm a two-finger typer, so you already know. Nasty work, but it is what it is. I keep it bucky. Who wins this fight, y'all? Roach, Pitbull. This weekend, y'all. Let's go. Place your votes right now. Get into the poll. Get into the poll. Get into the poll. I'm not talking about the stripper poll. I'm just talking about getting on that poll. Polls. But not for real. Place your vote. Who wins this fight this weekend? Pitbull, Cruz, Lamont, Roach. Lots of people saying, yo, Lamont, you riding on a high pedestal over a draw with Gervonta Tank Davis. A lot of people saying, yo, man, because of that performance that he showed us, now I recognize who he is, and I believe that he gonna make Pitbull Cruz easy work. I don't know, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Pitbull needs a jab. Yeah, he do need a jab. He needs something before he throws that haymaker right in front of him. Right. Um, Pitbull Cruz gonna have to show a different side of him tomorrow. Let's be real. Who got the better chin? Pitbull, one of the best chins in boxing. Absolutely, absolutely. I think that he got a better chin. He might have a better chin than Roach. He might have a better chin than Roach, that's for sure. I don't know, 50-50 for me. I like this. Add 50-50 indeed. Ooh, I got Roach, Cockroach, the one that put Stank on his knee. Ooh, okay. I get what you're saying. But Diablo, energy at his finest. Roach wins if he boxes. Okay. But okay. Okay. And I think that that's the best way Cameron, he should attack this whole situation. He should attack this as, listen, I'm a box Pitbull Cruz because he's been outboxed, and this is how he's lost fights, by being outboxed. But he's saying he gonna stop him, so that's different energy. That's completely different energy. It's early right now, so let's do it. Let's get the call-ins. Fuck it. Let's just do it, man. Let's just do it. Energy at its finest this morning. Hopefully you guys had your coffee. This shit is cold as hell. Can't drink it anymore. I don't drink cold coffee. Don't know about y'all. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Did y'all see the press conference yesterday? PBC press conference yesterday. I know a lot of people down that Laura not fighting Jennebeck. I understand. But we here today, this morning, to get this shit rocking and popping. So let's go. We got the call-ins already, guys. If you guys want to call in, talk your talk, questions, statements. We live on Mill City Boxing on Instagram. Make sure you guys press join if you guys want to come out and join the show, man. Really appreciate you guys for tapping in as well. But we live on Mill City Boxing on Instagram if you guys want to call in. And let's continue this boxing talk before we start, getting with the rest of our day. Salute to Jamaine Ortiz, first interview of the day. Solid. Let me not say solid. Internet connection. Horrible. But solid interview. Solid. Solid guy. Black horse in the 140 division. Not ready to go to 147 yet because he got shit to do at 40. Yeah, lots of people say he beat Teofimeo Lopez. Yeah, lots of people said that he had a really close fight with Lomachenko, possibly beat him too. You know, um, Jermaine Ortiz, the real deal, a guy that a lot of people are avoiding. He also said in the interview that he could have fought Shakur Stevenson as well. It just didn't go that route. Nevertheless, who y'all think wins? Who you got winning those key fights Saturday? Let me tell you something. Tomorrow, the fights we haven't. When's the last time we seen a PBC fight, man? I feel like it's been a minute. I feel like it's been a little minute. Salute to everybody on the live. Smash that like button and dale, what's going on? Parcero en la casa. What's going on? Smitty, what's good? Smash the like button, yo. Like I said, guys, we got the call-ins are ready to go. First caller, where you at? Talk to me. Um, get back into this fight though. I like the card. Shakur and Teo's first press conference in December 10th. Okay. Okay. And hopefully, just hopefully, we get an amazing buildup, right? That New York press conference, the New York fights in Times Square, seemed like Teo was the only one promoting it, right? So you already know if Teo says something slick, Shakur definitely going to react to it. Um, Once again, guys, make sure you guys go place your votes. Who wins this fight this weekend? Roach or Pitbull Cruz? Make sure you guys go out your way, place your votes, and we're live on Instagram. What's going on? I am calling. Okay, Parcero in the house. First caller coming in. Make sure we talking boxing. What's goody in the hoodie? We got, oh, listen, 72 people with 69 likes. Let's get these likes up. You know, we had hundreds of people watching earlier. So hopefully you guys can go out your way and support the channel on another level by hitting that like button. All right. Once again, I'm hyped for the Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez fight. Big hypes. I'm big hypes on it. Um, who do now? People saying, listen, I see Bill Haney talking about he want to fight. Oh, hold on. I got some more shit. Hold on, I got some more shit. I got some more shit to cook on. If nobody calls in, I got some more shit that I gotta read. That's been put out there. More drama from Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney saying that he's seen a video of Ryan hitting the pads and he looked like he juicy. What you mean by juicy, Mills? Juiced up. You know what I mean? PED'd up. That's what he's saying. Guess what? Ryan Garcia says next. Ay, bendito. What did Ryan Garcia say next? He said, I will smack the shit out of you on my mama. Nasty work. Ryan Garcia getting real crazy with his mouth. You know what I mean? Hector Bermudez in the live. What's going on, Hector? How we doing? Uh Polanco's coach out in Massachusetts. Salute to you, man. Hopefully you guys can get on that Xander Zayas card still. Uh Hope you keep us updated. We don't know if you guys have an opponent or not, you know what I mean? So hopefully he can jump on the show. Haven't spoken to him yet. Spoke to him briefly one time with on a live with Zad Judah. Other than that, definitely a busy coach coming out of Massachusetts. Um, Salute to everybody on the live as well. Unlaced, what's going on? Ryan having another episode. I'm gonna read the whole thing in just a second. We don't got no call in, so at the end of the day, we're gonna get it back into the show. But yeah, you know, he hasn't tested for VADA. I think since he said something about like since March. I gotta read the report. But Devin Haney is seeing that he hasn't tested for VADA, and that he's saying I feel bad for Mario Barrios. Nasty work. Lots of people looking at it like, yo, why the hell is Devin Haney being a detective right now? Why does he see everything that Ryan Garcia is doing? Pump the brakes though. Listen, I guess on a live the other day, Ryan Garcia was talking to his ex, India Love. I bet they thought, see, listen, I don't want to get too messy and stuff like that, but maybe that's the reason why, you know what I mean, he was keeping an eye on Ryan. You know what I mean? You gonna pull a move. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what type of live it was. I don't know if it was OnlyFans. I don't know. You know what I mean? But it's getting interesting. You know what I mean? And you already know that that rematch is brewing. That rematch right here, I mean, is big. And we're gonna need this type of promotion. We're gonna need this messy stuff to happen to keep this thing over the loop. Let's just be honest. Franco, first caller of the show. Franco in the building. What's going on, Big Frank?
What's good, buddy?
Good morning, my brother. Good morning.
Hey, likewise, man. What's good with you?
Shit, man. You know, in this boxing show, we just had Jamaine Ortiz tap in with us. Talking about how he feels about the Teofimeo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson fight. I mean, what you think about the fight yourself?
I think it's a good matchup. You know, the styles make fights. I feel like it's going to bring the best out of both of them. You know, as for Shakur and for Teofimo. You know what I'm saying? Um, they gotta definitely have to bring their A game, and it's going to bring the A game out of both of them. You know, so that's just my opinion on it. Now, who I think is going to win?
Yep, that's what I want to hear. That's what we want to hear.
It's, man, to be honest, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I think it's a 50-50 chance for both. You know what I'm saying? It just depending on how they come out that night. You know what I mean? Just hopefully it's not that bad night for either one of them.
Yeah.
What about yourself? Who you
But
got?
who you put your money on, Franco? Who you putting your dollars, your hard working money on? Like, let's be real, keep it funky over here in Mill City. We need this right here. It can't is it a real 50-50 or you leaning somewhere?
Um, I'm leaning more towards Shakur, man.
Tell me why.
I mean, he got a good defense, man, and I mean, he got a good defense and offense for me, to be honest. I mean, I feel like when Tio tries to press forward, it's just gonna be I don't know, man. I don't know, man. That's the whole thing, man. They both good fighters. Like they both really good fighters. So I'm just leaning more towards your thoughts, to be honest.
I hear you on that. I'm leaning more towards Shakur as well. I have my reasons. I did my breakdown. Don't know if you've seen it, but I will be elaborating a lot more in a video that I'm going to be dropping today. But yeah, good fight. You guys can call in on Mill City live on Instagram. We're live on Instagram right now. So if you guys want to call in, anyone that's in the, I see a lot of people in the comments saying, hey, listen, where's the number? The number, there's no number. Call in live on Mill City Boxing on IG. Okay, jump on the live and speak your mind. Let's go. Let's get this.
You think it's gonna be you think they gonna get one of them will get a stoppage, or you think it's going to all 12?
I'm gonna be real with you. I think the only way. I think the only way, not the only way, but I feel like if Tio could get the stop, if Tio can stop him, he'll win the fight. Obviously, that doesn't make no sense what I just said right now. If if Tio can stop him, he's gonna win the fight. Duh. Um, that shit wild, right? Mad illiterate. But listen,
I mean, they both got some. Both gonna have something to prove. Yeah, it's that make or break for them,
It
to take them
is.
to that next level.
But the discipline, the
Yeah,
the fundamentals, um, the twitchiness, and then when I say the twitchiness, right? I want to say that Teo got that too. Teo got them counter shots on that. He's a counter puncher, just like Shakur. Kind of a
yeah,
cool reason why I like the fight is because they both counter punches. But who's going to be the guy that wants to change the pace, step forward? I feel like Shakur always does that towards the middle of the fight and at the end of the fight.
right.
We've seen that Tia would step it to Lomachenko early. Antoine Russell on an interview that we did yesterday, he said if Teofimo Lopez fights the Lomachenko type of fight, he wins the fight. That's Antoine Russell, the WBA champion at 140 pounds. That's his weight class as well. So those are his assumption on that. On Twitter, Shakur Stevenson reposted the interview I did with Antoine. I know why he did it, because he wants to show Antoine like, oh, let me remember this. Let me remember this. That you said this. But if Shakur didn't just listen to the first like few seconds of it. If you listen to the whole thing, you see Antoine is siding more on a Shakur Stevenson fight. First thought was Teofimo Lopez if we get that Lomachenko performance. But if you listen to him, he's saying Shakur gonna beat him. He said that Shakur gonna have him on a leash and he gonna be walking him everywhere. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I don't know if Shakur seen the whole thing, but he did retweet it, and hopefully he's using it as a bookmark, saying, "Listen, we're gonna revisit this." That's why I retweeted it, and I think that's what he's doing. I love the
Right.
energy that Shakur is bringing. You know what I mean? He's super lined in, super focused. I mean, I love it. I love this fight. Top of the year. Shout out to Turkey Al Sheik. You know what I mean? Because without him, I don't know if this fight would have happened.
A lot of fights wouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
Like, for
yeah.
real, like a lot of fights wouldn't have happened in this boxing game, for real, for real. I mean, these kind of fights would have happened like 2028, 2029 or something.
You feel me? You know what I mean? We would have seen these fights when these guys are touching 30 years old instead. We getting to see these dudes in their middle to late 20s coming in, you know what I mean? Like entering their prime, or they're in their prime right now. You know what I mean? A lot of boxing, we start to see these fights happen when one person's out of their prime, and then we don't get to really look at it and be like, yo, that was a fair fight. There's always an excuse after. You know what I mean? Teofimo Lopez, there was an excuse that what? Lomachenko had a surgery. That was the excuse. The other one with Josh Taylor, that Josh Taylor's leg was a little messed up. Boom. People want to discredit those wins of Teo. You know what I mean? Whether they're facts or not. You know what I mean? This is boxing. We wake up in the morning with a new excuse all the time. Let's be real. Let's be real. You know? Let's be real. Now that we want to be real, you tell me. Brian Norman and Devin Haney fight was promoted heavy on this channel, right? You tell me, did it live up to his expectations for you? I mean, was it really high level boxing to you? I mean, you got a lot. Even Antoine Russell was saying that shit was boring as shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think he lived up to his expectation, but I don't think Norman was expecting Danny to come out like that. You know what I mean? And it's different when we already know it's different from, talking, expectating, and actually being in the ring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a whole different ball game. But, Devin Haney came and brought his A game and he showed out. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think that they were ready for what he was coming with. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. He just got to go back to the drawing board and then, come back better. Just take it as a learning lesson.
I mean, you tell me. Was there a lot of clinching? I mean, I did commentary for your fight. You know what I mean? And you guys were both tired, but the referee, separated the clinch right away, and it changed the pace of the fight. You tell me, did you feel like the clinching slowed down the fight tremendously? That it was not amusing? Like how Eddie Hearn says, it just wasn't entertaining to watch.
Yeah. I mean, I think the fight was entertaining in itself, but like as far as like, you know, um, I just don't think people the expectation was so high that people didn't get to see what they thought they was gonna see. And that's why, the output was so low for them. They're like, oh, this thing turned out how I thought it was. You know what I'm saying? They was expecting a knockout or, some brutal knockout. You know what I mean? Being that, the power Norman was bringing, you know what I mean? And I guess everybody was expecting Norman Haney to get knocked out, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Being that didn't happen, and it switched around. It did a whole 360. You know what I mean? Norman got dropped by Haney, so I mean, I don't know. That's why I didn't probably live up to people's expectations. They was expecting something differently than what they saw. So
Ice, thank you for the 2 piece. Good work. Really appreciate you, man. Good morning to everybody on the live as well. Yeah, I mean, listen, I get it in certain fights. Like, I mean, I get it in that fight. It was a lot of clinching, but I can't say it was just a one-way streak on the clinching. Um, what I mean? I did see Norman Jr. clinch a good amount of times. James Toney said that he didn't really go for broke. You know what I mean? He said that, you know, um, all that shit y'all talked and you didn't really bring it. That's what Tony's words saying, and
I think so. When people clinch, right? Either one is a tactic to slow the other person down.
you could clinch for many reasons, yeah.
Yeah, there's multiple reasons why you can clinch. You know what I'm saying? Slow the pace of the fight. You're tired. You're hurt. I mean, so it's multiple reasons for the clinch. You know what I'm saying? And fighters know that. But I mean, I just like I said, I just think that Norman didn't bring the talk to the fight. It was just a whole different ball game. You know what I'm saying? And I guess it didn't turn out the way they thought it was gonna happen. But it's not taking out from Norman though. You know what I'm saying?
Good fighter still. Yeah. Yeah. Like same thing. Matias, when he lost to Paro, everybody was like, oh, he trash. He trash. Knowing that Paro clinched the whole time in that fight. And now all this trash talk, now that he's a two-time champion at 140 pounds, holding the WBC strap, you tell me. I mean, now all that trash talk is done. It's over with. You know what I mean? Now they moved on. Now they say, nah. You got Austrian in your system, bro. I don't give a damn if it's little bit or a lot. You got it on you, and why you have it in you. Pause. But you know what I'm saying? It's something new. If Matias knocks out, Dalton Smith, they're gonna say that. You know what I mean? They're gonna bring that back up again. Um, if Dalton Smith beats Super Matias, Super Matias is a hype job until he gets his other opportunity. One thing is for sure, he's a big entertainer, in the sport, and there's a high value in that, because right now when it comes to value in boxing, you got guys that are just willing to win without taking all the chances, making it a great fight. That's one thing about this game, right? Making sure that you're a great fighter means you got to produce great fights. Let's be real, chat. Let's be real. Listen to what I'm saying here. To be a great fighter, you got to have great fights.
And does that mean it's coming with? I just think, man, like people take the losses in a whole different aspect now. You know what I mean? They feel like if you lose, it's over. You know what I mean?
Show me you great.
You know?
Show me you great. You know what I mean? Mayweather, when he fought Gotti, yeah, he was the A side. Maybe he could have, not stopped Gotti. There would have been a lot of people talking shit if he didn't stop Gotti. You have to be honest. You know what I mean? What did he do to him? Great fighter made it into a great fight on his side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, so what was good? What was your input on the Norman and Haney fight, though?
I think what's going on? Hector Bermuda's in the house. What's going on, Coach? How you doing today?
Hey, we're good, man. I'm feeling my guy's beard, man.
My boy Franco. Yeah. Listen, man. Glad to have you back on the show. Wanted to talk a little bit about Polanco. I see he's highly ranked as a welterweight in the.
First of all, I got other fighters besides him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, how about we go and talk about those fighters as well? Who you training?
Well, listen. People saying I keep hearing people saying the welterweight division is the worst division. Hey, that's the only thing we usually talk about is the welterweight division, right? So the welterweight division is popping. We got a lot of good fighters there, especially your boy, your favorite fighter.
Who?
You know who your favorite. Don't be looking at me like that. You know who your favorite
Who's my
fighter.
favorite fighter?
Stop, man.
Who is my favorite fighter?
Hey, what's your name, my guy?
Franco.
Franco. Who you think his favorite fighter is?
Maybe some Real Matia. I don't know.
Are you familiar with the show?
Yeah.
What gym he be popping up at? The only gym he be going to.
We talking about Rashidi?
Yeah, you got that right.
That's my guy. That's my guy. Like you build relationships over time. You know what I mean? They open the doors for you. They say, yo, yeah, you come to the gym. Like I don't get no invite from you. Hey, come to my gym, man. Let's just chop it up.
Invite now. You got to invite now. You can just walk in whenever time you want.
I appreciate it.
Rashidi and Alex is awesome. And Alex know how busy trainers be. That's why I don't have a lot of time to even be on here. But I'm in between sessions.
No, I know you got a lot of fighters, man. We've seen you a lot on TV.
Armando Martinez Robbie, right? I don't know what he's ranked, number 4, 3, whatever. We're this close. We're on the Riyadh card, but he's having visa issues because he's Cuban. Trump is tripping. They ain't giving out the visa, so he can't. He could travel there, but if he travel there, he can't come back in the country. So we having problems with that.
That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I actually heard somebody else complaining about the same thing. The visas. A couple fighters actually having a hard time getting their visas. Um, but yeah, what other fighters you got? You got Carlos as well, right? He's ranked in the WBA. The one with the
couple Carloses, Carlos Gonzalez,
135, I believe.
Oh yeah, 126. Yeah, Carlos Gonzalez. Yeah, he's fighting. He got caught up. He's fighting a case. He's about to go to trial, so he had to focus on that.
Mm.
But actually, he been caught the case. The crazy thing is, he caught the case, and then he wanted to start boxing for some reason. He wanted to get out the streets. He started boxing, and in 2 years' time, the motherfucker was number. How about 2.5 years? I'll say. 2 years. About 2 years' time, he was number 10 in the world. You only get, and he never boxed before. You only get that when you're a superior athlete. He was if you ever see the motherfucker play baseball, he should be in the major leagues because he's an awesome shortstop. He got a cannon of an arm. And that baseball, the rotational, every time you throw a ball, it's rotation. Every time you hit a ball, swinging the bat is rotational. So he brought that rotational power into boxing, and he was sweeping a lot of people, even though when his skill set was a little behind. But he worked on his craft, and man, people could do it if they worked night and day, night and day, night and day. Put the hours in. The boy got nice, and he's able to compete even on the world level. When I had T.J. Doheny, when T.J. Doheny fought Nick Ball, they both had the same weight. Carlos had to take it easy on him, right? And I think Carlos would have done well with Nick Ball.
Mm. Tell me, what do you think about the state when it comes down to New England boxing? I see that you're on TV constantly. I see normally like you, DeLuca, kind of one of the more high profile coaches from the area. What do you think about the New England state of boxing? How do you guys feel like you guys get treated at the top level? And even get into the top to actually be in the top level? I mean, explain about New England boxing.
Well, I'm kind of an outsider because I'm not from here. Even though I had a training camp in Boston, I have a training camp in Springfield, and that is New England. But I'm not from New England. I really don't care for it too much. I look at boxing on the world stage, not like geographically in this town here. So when I hear uh, Rashidi's the best welterweight in New England, that doesn't bother me at all because I think he's super nice. And if people say that, I don't correct them because everybody's entitled to their opinion. I really like Rashidi. I wish the best for him. I wish I could even help him out, which I used to help him out with like sparring and stuff. And now that Polanco opened up his mouth and started talking shit, now it's like it makes things weird.
Yeah, it happens.
They even call Alex for like sparring and stuff, but Alex is my guy. I haven't seen him in a while since all this shit started.
Mm. Yeah, I was actually listening to an interview with Broadway Joel and Brad Goodman talking about he tried to make that fight happen. Um, you know, when you say that Rashidi's super nice, he's moved up to 154 pounds, stating that he couldn't really get the fights at welterweight. How do you feel like he does at 54?
He ain't gonna get the fights there either. He's the same thing as Boo Boo. They'll weigh him out. They'll weigh him to diminish himself. And one thing about your reaction, that slows up very, very quickly with age. Um, you all right? So yeah. So that's the first thing that's gonna go. So and he's very that's how he fights, speedy receiver. Right?
Right.
So they probably wait him out and then pick him when he gets older. Which I think they should have definitely took that or that fight with Boots.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
You're not getting any younger.
It was exactly young man sport.
And
So
that's actually I took a page from that, and then when I also trained Kurt Scooby, and when Kurt Scooby got the opportunity to fight out there in England, he wasn't well prepared because we only had a 2 weeks notice. But there's one thing about it is he's not a world champion, so you're not losing the belt, but you're trying to gain an opportunity, and at the same time, you're winning because of the money that you're getting. And now he's fucking he's buying houses and he got buying Airbnb, so he's doing good for himself. He didn't get the victory, but he do well for himself in life. And now he don't when he comes back to training camp, he's not worrying about too many bills and all that, piling up. So sometimes even when Canelo lost to Mayweather, he took that money and invested in himself, and he's able to crank now, get the sparring that you want, get the dietitian, get the strength and conditioning that you want. So it helps out.
talking about that fight, there was a clip that went viral. It was a clip of you. A lot of people from the UK started assuming things, putting things out there. What did you get out of the clip?
It's pretty awesome. He was getting rained on, and I said, "Yo, take a knee, man, take a knee." And when he took a knee, he looked at me, and I was like, "Yo, good work, man. You all right? Good job." Being positive with them. They look for me for instruction. I wear many hats, man. I got a fighter today that's, it's not easy to be in a trainer, man, especially when I put myself in the position I put myself in to be there for these guys as a mentor, too. So, it's
Absolutely.
not easy, man. Not easy. But, they look for me for guidance. So, yeah, I really encourage that he did the right thing. And they, but the internet.
Undefeated. They're undefeated.
They said that, think about you losing your parlay and then you see this, right?
so so people they assume that the fight was rigged because of your expression.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. but it don't matter. I also tell these guys, I'm glad that happened because I always use any tool I could use as a teaching lesson. And I tell them, because I got people that love me, the fighters love me, so they get upset, But I'm like, no, you shouldn't get upset even when they talk bad about you. As long as they talking about you, you stay relevant, right?
Absolutely. Now,
So it's always a lesson there.
the fighter that Scooby fought, Amir, was his name?
Adam Azim.
Azim, actually, yeah. He mentions after the fight, he's because I guess Scooby's friends with Haney. Can I beat Haney? Scooby tells him no. What do you think? And what do you
Did
think
you
of?
see that on TV? Was that?
Yeah, I seen what's his name? Azim.
Yeah, Adam Azim. Yeah.
Yeah, I seen him in an interview say that. Yeah.
Oh, he said it in the interview.
Yes, he said it in the interview.
Okay, so yeah, because I was there when he said it to him when he asked him live in the ring. He was like, "Can I be your boy? Can I be your boy Haney? Can I be your boy Haney now, huh?" And School was honest. He was like, "Nah."
And he's highly ranked in the division as well.
Well, that fight was at 140, and Haney's 147. So
Right.
I mean, he's a big boy. He could move up. He's a big boy, but I mean, I don't know why he's going after Haney. Where he told me after the fight, he told me he makes 140 pretty easy.
Do you see the fight happening because of the promotion and the questionnaire at that moment?
No, I think Bill Haney's a genius. He's they're doing their own thing. They're not worried about they're on their own track, and if they do what they want to do, they're in a position where
But that's not Turkey's guy.
No, because he just met Turkey for the first time when he met him there.
Okay.
But whatever. So Polanco fighting, I stay away from that because they deserve it, man. Did you remember when they years ago when they even came through New England sparring and building up their YouTube content? Remember that was like 10 years ago.
A long time ago, yeah.
They've been grinding. So now they'll try to fight Rolly. If Rolly takes a fight, and they're on their own trajectory.
That's right. That's right. So tell me about that. I mean, what do you think about Norman and Haney fight? What's your reaction to that fight? Did you see that fight happening like that?
I bet it on Haney. But I think Norman did awesome. There's some couple of things that he could have made adjust. It's not like he had to go to the gym and learn a whole bunch of shit to be able to get one over on Haney. He has the power. He definitely has the heart, right? Sometimes you just can't outwill skill, but there is some things that he could tighten up on that. I think his father said that his son didn't follow the game plan or something. But sometimes you need experience to be able to follow a game plan. And even though he had some fights, he still don't have the experience on that stage. He was a little tense. He was really trying really hard. But I think he did awesome. I think he's an awesome fighter. I think if he don't let it derail him, he'll be back stronger.
What do you think about Polanco being ranked number 4 in the Ring magazine as a welterweight?
Me personally, I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't care if you rank number 1, 2. Is these dudes do what they want to do regardless of the rankings, anyways. You get people that's mandatory that don't get a shot. You get people that just you don't see them in the rankings, and then all of a sudden you see them in the rankings and they getting title shots. I'm actually a victim of both. I remember I had the fighter that he wasn't ranked and they put him in the rankings for him to fight for a title, and then after he fought, he back out the rankings. So I'm a victim of both. So it doesn't matter. You'll get the call when you get the call.
Yeah. Look what happened to Boo Boo. You know, lost to Benavides, and where's he at in the rankings? He's gone. But he,
Yo Hernandez been number one for a whole year. It's like nothing is talked about mandatory, nothing because you know he's number one for Laura. He's number two on the WBC. You know, it's just like nothing. Crickets. Just I'm pretty sure the same thing happens with Rashidi.
yeah, Yo Hernandez, one of my favorite fighters that you guys got. I think, he's the real deal. I really do. After watching him, fight Kyron Davis, went the distance, but I really felt like, he showed who he was that night. And yeah, it's such a shame that we couldn't seen, him be the substitute for Jennebeck or something. He probably wouldn't have been ready for it. What you think?
No, he definitely is.
No, as far as weight is concerned, like actually make the weight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's ready for it.
Yeah.
He need about 3 to 4 days to make the weight.
What's his story? I hear something about there's a lot of people. There's some guys in Miami that put a lot of money into him.
Hell no, motherfucking you know Big Rob.
Big Rob.
You know, yeah, Rob. He's the manager. Rob put a lot of money into it. Just getting them here, getting them established here. You know, housing and yeah, like no, that's I don't know about Miami, but I know Rob got him right now up here. So no, Rob put it. I can't take that away from Rob. He putting the money in. He putting the work in too.
When do you think Yo-Yo will
Yeah.
be a champion? When do you feel like he'll get that shot?
Like I said, you know, they do what they want to do, man. As long as you know the kid is being fed, uh, being looked out after. We just gotta be patient. But you know, keep striving. You know, keep grinding. You know, and that's one thing about him. He don't do that because he got some young lines right next to him that pushing him. That they want to come out. Some young Cubans. Now that he'd be tough to beat, man. Yo be tough to beat. Rohan, same thing with Rohan. Rohan lives in the gym. Rohan be tough to beat, man.
So Polanco, ranked number 4 in the ring. Um, I feel like that's. I feel like when you ranked in the ring, it kind of gives you hope that you're gonna get an opportunity. Just because he's putting some of the biggest fights, you figured if he ranks him, he's gonna go by the rankings and give these opportunities out. Um, what do you think about Polanco and Brian Norman after seeing, he's ranked number 2?
I think in life you always get an opportunity, and you just have to be ready for that opportunity. I don't think life is unfair like that. I think you work hard at something, you're gonna get your time to shine, and you just have to take complete control and of that opportunity. And he'll be ready when the opportunity comes. He'll be ready. If Brian Norman Jr. Name come up, he'll be ready.
What do you see in that fight if they match up?
Um, you know, I have all the confidence in Polanco. I think Polanco do good in that fight.
Does that fight go the distance in your eyes?
We just have to wait and see. I'm not like there's no game planning. I mean, I just know him from his past fight. There's like no game planning on him now, but I'm sure when we game plan, you know, there's I'm pretty sure they'll feel the same way when when you strategize against your opponent, you put a plan together, you film study him, you try to take advantage of what you see him doing in the future or getting better at, the best version of himself. Uh, I'm sure, you know, Rohan is still confident where he could stop him or get a decision on him, and I'm sure they'll feel the same way. I'm not too. You know, I know you're like Ness. You want to be messy. You're trying to draw me into something messy. But
Just a
nah, man,
prediction.
they're great fighters, man.
Yeah. Um, Okay.
You want me to talk shit about him?
Nah, I would like to see how you break it down. Like, guys, I have lots of coaches that people just like to hear the breakdown of how they see the fight from 1 to 12. You know what I mean? What are the best attributes? Some coaches don't want to leak anything out in the media to not give people hints, which I understand as well. But nah, people love breakdowns, they love predictions, and they love reactions. It's part of the game.
I mean, I think I just think Brian Norman needed a little more experience in on that level of fighting, and he probably could have got the victory. This experience of following a game plan at that level, because I heard the father was saying some good stuff, um, and and he was trying. There's some things like sometimes he would jab the shoulder before he jabbed his face, so I know he was trying to break the Philly shell. He was doing a lot of good things. He was trying to cut the ring off. Here and there, he was letting Haney slide out. Uh, he was overcommitting at times where Haney was allowed to fold and smother and clinch. Um, so
Tell me, what do you think sets Polanco apart from these other guys at 47?
it just like so he's very talented. One thing about it, he don't put fundamentals in front of his talent. So sometimes you might see him just plodding forward. But he has he wants to box. He just never had to push the boxing out of him. And then he's Dominican, so Dominicans can't afford to. Dominicans can't afford not to look good, to be just mediocre, just a mediocre fighter. You got to look sensational. You know, they don't get a lot of opportunities. They don't sell tickets, right? So they got to be exceptionally well at their skill set to be considered, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, slowly but surely, I think Polanco is gaining traction, and he had a good showing when last time he fought at Madison Square Garden. But you can't put him somewhere else and expect him to sell.
100%. 100%. Um, you know, when it comes down to Polanco, a lot of people are trying to figure out, who he is as a fighter. As a coach, people they just see power. What do you feel like he also got to bring that he hasn't been able to show?
Yeah, he's pretty. What we work on. We work on everything. We work on his range. We work on his boxing ability to be on the back foot. His boxing ability to be on the front. Part of being a coach too is also like holding people back. And I'm being distracted. I got this fucking kid in the gym right now. He's been training since 8 o'clock this morning. What time is it?
It's 11.
He's like, hey, my man, what you doing? Huh? Oh, you finished training already.
Hit the like button,
Hey,
yo.
relax.
Sometimes you gotta do
You
that.
want to train? You want to train all motherfucking day? Like that's gonna help.
Need to rest. Need to rest. So tell me, when do you feel like Polanco will be a world champion?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. He's on his skill set is on the right trajectory. Um, I think like right now, if he was someone else, if he was a U.S. Olympian instead of a Dominican Olympian, he'll probably get a Mario Barrios fight or a Crocker fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or who else is Crocker, Mario's, Haney,
Rolly.
and Rolly? Yeah. So he'll fare well with all of them. You know,
Yeah.
some.
Now, are you guys fighting on the Xander Zayas card? Is that
Supposed to be the co-main event.
still looking for an opponent?
Uh, yeah, I don't know if it's on I heard of Chris Congo. I don't know if it's him, but yeah, he'll fight. Polanco don't say he's not in the position to say no to anybody. He says yes to everyone. He's not in a he doesn't sell tickets, so he have to fight. He has to fight, so he doesn't say no.
I had Tiger Johnson on here the other day. I hit you up while I had him on. Lots of people in the comments said that that it was an opportunity for Polanco to fight Tiger. I guess they heard it from you in the shout out to Johnny in the hangout. I think you said it there. Um, yeah, tell me what was those negotiations? I mean, what were they like? I mean, he's saying that he never heard anything.
Well,
Yeah,
he won't. I mean, he won't hear it. Or Polanco won't hear it either. They won't hear it because that's stuff that's being talked about closed doors. It's just Polanco is not in the position to say no. He will fight. He will fight Haney tomorrow. He will fight Norman tomorrow. He will fight Tiger Johnson tomorrow. Anywhere, you know, remember like the landscape. Um, they rather see Polanco in those type of fights than him on the A side versus just an opponent. It doesn't make sense for them. They'd rather have him on the B side against somebody.
like a Tiger Johnson.
Yeah, so he's not in a position to say no. We can't say no. And he's ready. It's not like, he's ready for it.
Do you smash a like button, subscribe to the channel? My phone just died and it was getting hot. Salute to everybody on the live. Appreciate you guys for tapping in. The super chats as well. Really appreciate it. But we'll be back with another one a little bit later on today. Got to drop some videos and all that good stuff. Really appreciate you guys for tapping in. God bless. And on to the next. We back later.